Welcome back to OtakuDaiKun. We are playing the newest Lost Belt. Hi, what are you doing?
Looking for a connector cable.
What kind of connector cable? You gotta be specific.
Apple.
Oh, lightning?
Lightning to
To what?
DP.
DP. DisplayPort.
Yay!
Lightning doesn't go to DisplayPort.
We do.
Well, we don't have that.
Okay.
Yes, I knew the Lost Belt was coming. I knew it was coming. But I did not know, they like to do like this special pre-release like live stream and then be like, oh yeah, we're getting all hyped up about something that comes out tomorrow. So, I repeat, I'm a mage from proper human history. Please come find me at the following coordinates. This is Baldanders, the Wandering Sea. Oh yeah, the Wandering Sea! Fuck yeah! This is what's new in FGO, the newest Lost Belt. Wandering Sea? Wandering Sea? The Wandering Sea? That's one of the three great organizations of the Magecraft world. There's the Clock Tower in London, the Atlas Institute in Egypt, and the oldest of them all, the Wandering Sea. It was located on an island from the Age of Gods hidden in the northern oceans. Does this mean it still exists? Yes, it does. So I'm just checking out the chats. Lots of reading here. Da Vinci and Sherlock are like, holy shit. I can't believe you've done this. Atmospheric analysis complete. Nitrogen, oxygen, argon, and carbon dioxide levels all green. The mana in the atmosphere is almost identical to levels in the 21st century. I'm not picking up any harmful trace of substances either. So we still have breathable air, even in this creepy, bleached world. Well, that means we can park the shadow border and go have a look for ourselves. What do you think, Sarah? Doesn't that sound intriguing, stepping out into a world of sheer nothing in every direction? I don't mind a recap at this point. It's been a little while. Of course it does. First we'll go out and get some fresh air. Then we'll look for food. Still haven't told me what the Wandering Sea actually is. You don't know either, do you? Of course I do, you dolt. Gordov Muzik is not a man to pretend to know something he doesn't. The Mages Association isn't a monolith, I'll have you know. Just because I used to work at the Clock Tower doesn't mean I've ever been to the supposedly living Wandering Sea in the North Sea. That's a loaded sentence. Oh, so you've only heard rumors. I thought you were from some big, important family, old man. Don't you call me that double chin. If I must spell it out for you, then here it is. The Wandering Sea of Baldanders is the first enigma ever discovered in the world of Magecraft, and it will be the last to be puzzled out. It's an island so mysterious and full of mystics that even such a gifted mage of incredibly prestigious bloodline as myself may not even set foot on it. Oh yeah, there's gonna be lots of story, and that's what I'm here for. That's what OtakuDaiKun's here for. It's true. That all fits with what's in Chaldea's database. It says that though the Mages Association has been around since the start of the AD era, it also split into 3 branches shortly after its inception. The mages who settled in London evolved with the times, and focused on developing magecraft over the course of history. That faction went on to become the Clock Tower, the largest and most powerful magecraft organization in the world. Its members included the Animesphere family, the founders of Chaldea, and Mr. Gordov here. Quite so. Here in the 21st century... Whoops. I hate when the text gets away from me. The Mages Association and the Clock Tower are all but synonymous. The next major faction is the Atlas Institute in Egypt. You know what? I think these are actually going to be my next lessons in Magecraft. So on Friday, I think it's the one where we talk about the Clock Tower. I could be wrong, but I believe that might be the next one. We actually infiltrated their headquarters once during the Sixth Singularity. It was a huge research complex, almost like a giant crypt built deep underground. And as easy it was to get in, it was hard to get out. The Atlas Institute's ironclad rule is that the technology created there must never leave. But Chaldea's first director was granted an exception, thanks to the Atlas contract. The technology he was able to take from the Atlas Institute enabled him to complete Chaldea's. It was also the Atlas Institute that presented him with the Void Reality Observation Device, Paper Moon, one of the finest mystic codes ever made. Indeed, they seldom poke their noses out of their little hole in the ground, but I am told they do converse with lords, albeit as little as possible. They may be heartless bunch who only care about weapons and technology, but they can be rather useful if you play your cards right. And finally, the last faction is the Wandering Sea, the Baldanders, said to be somewhere in the North Sea. However, the most I can find about them was a brief overview, even in Chaldea's extensive files. It said that their cardinal rule is to only recognize magecraft from the Age of Gods and refuse to accept any advancements or alterations urged by civilization. In essence, their ideology is the exact opposite of the Clock Towers. It's not a new event per se, it's the new chapter of the story, so it's not going anywhere, it's not like a limited time thing, but it is brand new, hefty story content. Let me know about the audio. I'm in a new house with a new room and a new acoustic setup. And I got the AC running because it's hot as balls, so just let me know. I'll try to do what I can. I always keep Mashu in my party because she doesn't cost anything. Indeed, refusing to accept progress in magecraft means refusing to accept consumer civilization. The Wandering Sea's philosophy of magecraft is fundamentally incompatible with modern human society. That is why they keep their gates firmly shut, and that is why they seldom add to their number. In other words, they're a bunch of old fuddy-duddies obsessed with magecraft so ancient, it has to be measured with a carbon dating. That said, they do open their gates just once every year to try and recruit promising new talent. But even among mages of the Clock Tower, the number who actually make it to the Wandering Sea can be counted on one hand. Do you see my point? I'm saying the Wandering Sea is every bit as secretive as the Atlas Institute, just in a different way. No one from the outside has ever been able to get the full story, the reason being, as the name suggests, the Wandering Sea is always on the move. Most who know of it believe it to be a floating island somewhere in the North Sea, but it is, in fact, the very opposite. The Wandering Sea's headquarters were built before the AD era began, and they never move at all. It is instead the sea in which they are located that moves around, a world unto itself in many ways. That is almost certainly why its location still remains a secret even in the 21st century. Land that moves around while placing mystic textures on itself, I see. That would make it its own independent singularity. It would also explain how it was able to escape whatever turned the Earth's surface into an endless white desert. All this time they've been turning their noses up at us, but the moment things go south, they don't have any issue sending us a distress signal. Some successors to true mystics they turned out to be. They should try taking a page from our book. We're the ones who made it through Russia by the skin of our teeth. With no outside help, we're the ones who are currently flailing about with no plan. At least you understand that the situation is still pretty dire, I guess. Given the present circumstances, it looks like the people of the Wandering Sea have decided to bend their rules in order to offer us a lifeboat. At any rate, Administrative Advisor Holmes, I have a question for you. I would like to be as certain as possible. What do you make of this? Can we trust that their distress signal is genuine? I'm afraid I can't speak to that. What do you think, Da Vinci? Could go either way from the look of it. This transmission isn't part of the Clock Tower standards, but its wavelength is pretty close to the waveforms the Atlas Institute uses. Since we don't have any data about the Wandering Sea ourselves, I can't really give you a definitive answer. Still, I can verify that there's definitely something to be found at those coordinates. Whatever their story is, if there's a Magecraft workshop there, I'd really like to at least check it out. I know we managed to stretch things with the materials we got in Russia, but there are still limits to what the Shadow Border can do. What I really want to do is retune the whole frame from scratch, but I doubt we'll be finding much in the way of materials considering the entire world seems to be an empty wasteland. These coordinates from the Wandering Sea would put us in, I would think, the seas of west of Norway. We could go through the Scandinavian peninsula or turn north at Germany and cut across Denmark. We just left Moscow heading west, so it will take us a few days to reach them regardless of the route. Assuming that the border can convert the mana in the atmosphere into electricity, that just leaves the question of food. Can't we just, pop over there? No zero sales. As technical advisor, I expressly forbid it. Even if we are going to run into another one of those storm walls along the way, we need to stick to the surface as much as possible. But why? And did you just say that there are more of those storm walls? Explain yourself, technical advisor. If there's another storm wall in our path, doesn't that mean running straight into another lost belt? We don't have any other choice, Gordolf. Not with the two big problems we are facing. First, there's the small matter of the Wandering Sea living up to its name. These coordinates they sent us are all over the place. Literally, in fact, they're in a constant state of flux. Nothing definite or precise. With the coordinates like these, it would be very risky to try zero sailing there with the paper moon. So until and unless we go to the Wandering Sea directly and forge some kind of connection to it, a long-distance zero sail is out of the question. Second, and this is the real problem, we don't have the energy. Yes, Holmes oh so helplessly suggested converting mana into electricity, as if it were a simple matter, but that can only get us so far. The conversion rate isn't efficient enough, so we'd end up spending more power than we can produce, which would make a long zero-sail trip fatal. After all, no more power means no more working life support systems, and I don't know about you guys, but I sure don't want to be out in this bleached white world all by myself. Good point. The logic walls we have to put up in void space do use a lot of power. At our current energy levels, I don't think the border could last 2 hours there. And like Da Vinci said, we don't even have the exact coordinates we need. So what? Are you saying we need to enter another lost belt if we're going to reach this possible hope for salvation? Where is this new lost belt anyway? If we use a typical world map, then the entire Scandinavian peninsula is covered by one of these storm walls. Another half a day or so of driving, and you should all get to see the closest thing to the edge of the world for yourselves. I take that to mean this white, featureless ground will continue until we exit Russian territory then. At any rate, we have two possible routes to the Wandering Sea's designated coordinates. One that takes us across the Scandinavian peninsula, and one that brings us out to the sea via Poland and Germany. Da Vinci, in your estimation, which of these gives us our best chance? Should we go by land or by sea? I think making a sea voyage would be a lot to ask of the border. We could perhaps get through the Strait of Dover. But to be honest, I'd rather we keep our distance from the British Isles, since we have no idea about the state of the oceans just now. So what I'm saying is, I think the overland route is the best choice right now. Good grief. No sooner are we done with our lost belt than we're off to a second. Your thoughts, Miss Sarah? This is bullshit! And you're eating shrimp at the Crab Shack. That sounds nice. Yeah, I'll get rid of Stalin. He's going crazy now. Stalin, behave yourself. I'm gonna put him in timeout. We'll see how that works. Are there any mods? No. I mean, I can handle it. I was just giving him a chance. I was being too nice. Indeed, I heartily concur, but I promise you, I promise you will have our full support. Oh, I promise you will have our full support. That's a really confusing line. To be afraid in a situation such as this is the mark of sanity. Let us just leave it at that. So you're set on having us cross the Scandinavian peninsula then, aren't you, Da Vinci? Alright, we've come this far after leaving Moscow. So at the border's current speed, we should reach the peninsula in about 2 days. Very well then, use that time to make sure we're fully prepared. Menware, if you run into anything we could use to shore up our defenses along the way, take that opportunity to stop the border and ensure everything is in good working order. Da Vinci, you look after the little demi-servant girl. I can't have her falling down on the job. Holmes, come with me. We're going to the solitary confinement chamber. Solitary confinement? Mr. Gordoff, does that mean? I'm horny for some... Holmes. Oh, wait, I forgot we have Kaduk with us. Of course, I'm going there to interrogate Kaduk. He should be waking up any time now. It's time for me to put my brilliant questioning skills to use. When I'm through with him, he'll have told us what the krypters are, what Wodim is planning, everything. Mark my words. I'm coming too. Don't you look at me like that. You need the right people for the right job. I admit I may not be the best fit for interrogation, but you? Even less so. Don't you worry, Kaduk may be something of a twisted little brat, but he's still a growing boy. Merely tempt him with food and he'll be putty in my hands. Trust me, one whiff of my creamy carbonara will turn his complexion from sour milk to sunflowers in an instant. Worry not, Miss Sarah. I'll see to it that the interrogation doesn't devolve into violence. In fact, I have my own questions I wish to ask him. I have a fairly good idea of what the Krypter's goal is now, and I also believe I know the extent of Cadlok Zemlopis' personal knowledge. However, there are still two important things I know little about. The Tree of Emptiness and that serious light command spell of his. Granted, the latter is something Kaduk merely mentioned once, and may not be that important. Checking out the chat. I thought you were... Sorry, whoops. I thought there weren't supposed to be any more Oprichniki. We're not out of the Russian woods yet. Something's approaching us at high speed. It's closing in on our port side, at over 90 kilometers per hour. Come on, Manwar. Floor it before it catches up to us. I can't. We're just about to go uphill. The border can't go any faster. Oh crap, I'm picking up a heat signature too. It's... an RPG! Oh no! Impact in 3, 2... You'll never see it coming! I felt that. Please tell me that wasn't a direct hit, Da Vinci. Damage report. Is the engine intact? Are we going to have to bail in the middle of this race? I'm sure the damage is negligible, and our armor's still perfectly intact. We shouldn't need to do more than wipe off the scorch mark. The Shadowborder's armor is a composite of cutting-edge technology and magecraft theory. Normal weapons can't even scratch it. That's not what I'm seeing, Holmes. That blast took out one of our armor plates. Another hit like that and we'll be in deep shit. Huh? Really? Holmes? Then that means... I remember now. This is the same sort of explosion I felt way back. 2 weeks ago, when I was just a hapless, albeit handsome man being shot at with an anti-material rifle. This can only mean that that Koyanskaya is back to finish the job. It really might be curtains this time. Spare us the trip down memory lane, old man. Come on, Holmes, do something. Right, my apologies, I'm not used to eating crow. Evacuate all staff in the portside hallway to the engine room immediately. Miss Kyrielite and I will go deal with this attack. On that note, Miss Kyrielite, I would like you to put a magical energy barrier into the internal hallway so as to fend off a possible second round. I trust you're alright with that, Sarah? I am. Go, power my shoe. Don't worry, Senpai. I won't let them put one more scratch on the border. The hostile entity should reach the border in 50 meters. Putting up visual now. If it's Koyanskaya, I'll be like, just make sure. They must think they're hot stuff. Their vehicle might have impressive suspension if they're heading straight at us, though. I didn't think Russia had any race cars like that around. Alright, where are you, you little leftover Opriknik? Let's see what you look like. What the actual hell? That's not a vehicle, it's a person. Someone is approaching on foot. Wait, that's Silhouette. Clergy vestments and a Lost Belt servant's reading. It's that priest, the one who calls himself Metropolitan Macarius. Kirai! I don't know if she'd be using it as a mage, but more so a servant. I woke up when I heard a voice calling me. It was a cold, almost brittle kind of voice. Where am I? I guess that means I'm still alive. Ooh! Subscribers! There's a dull ache in the back of my head where I got pistol whipped. He sure wasn't playing around. Goddamn cowboy. Shouldn't outlaws be cool and laid back and all that? The shaking. Am I in a vehicle? This must be the shadow border. I try to assess the circumstances as best I can in this dimly lit place. Looks like they took me prisoner. They bound my hands, but now I can move around freely. The anti-magecraft cuffs they must have used on me are lying in pieces on the floor. Did I break them unconsciously while I was out? No, I couldn't have. I know I'm not capable of that. Why are the cuffs so damn cold? Did something freeze them enough to turn them brittle? Or maybe it's her farewell gift to me. Ugh. That the thought ever entered my mind makes me sick. I don't have time to get all sentimental. Now that I've failed, I don't have the right. Of course, that doesn't mean I'm going to waste this opportunity. If I'm going to make a getaway... Is someone attacking the shadow border from the outside? But the only ones who would do that are the krypters. Does that mean someone's here to rescue me? No, there's no chance of that. They're here to shut me up. There's no other reason anyone would waste their time on a loser like me. Alright, I can't just sit around and wait for them to kill me. First off, I've got to find a way out of here. After that, who knows? Escaping's all I can hope for now. Once that's done, I'll just have to see where the wind takes me. Damn it, there goes another one. What's the situation? Mashu raised her shield just in time. That one barely did anything. Way to go, Mashu! Woo, woo. The hostile servant is still in pursuit on the border's port side. Wait, is he about to fire again? How many rounds did he even bring with him? Wait, what about Scotty? Is she coming up or something? She's coming soon? Huh? Tell me. Be clear. If it's Scotty, then I'm gonna be going all out for her. I just noticed the NFF services marking on that thing. It must be one of Koyanskaya's weapons. No wonder it was able to damage the magecraft armor. That said, it looks like that priest is all sermon and no rod, like pearls before swine. So too gold before music, I suppose. The only one who could properly handle a modern magecraft weapon like that is Koyanskaya herself. Wait, what? The hatch is open. Why is the hatch open? Scotty! Well, I'm gonna be rolling for her. Gordolf, quick, check the internal surveillance cameras. I think someone opened the border's hatch and got outside. There's someone on the starboard ramp. What? That can't be right. You expect me to believe someone is hanging off the side like this as some kind of action move? Wait, that's Caddox Zemlopus. Just how many adventure-crazed nuts are there around here? I thought there was something on us. The signal's headed toward the deck now. So he's trying to take advantage of the confusion to escape, huh? Come on, Sarah. We're taking that hatch and going up there, too. Do not let Caddox get away. I have a mountain of questions I still need to ask him. Right. Indubitably. She likes ice cream. I mean, I like heat, but I also like ice cream. I like the two together. You, huh? Figures you'd show up. You're looking a little dazed now. Glad to see you're back to your usual happy-go-lucky nonsense. Yep, Patsy snapped me out of it. I see. So that Yaga's dead now, huh? I would have won if not for him. Guess that stupid speech of his was potent shit for you. He was a thorn in my side, but even I gotta admit he was a hell of a guy. I won't repeat the mistake of writing someone like him off as a loser. Enough chit-chat already, Zemlopus. Get back inside the border now, and I'll make sure you're treated fairly under international law. Trust me, you don't want to be stupid and go jumping off a moving vehicle like this. I can tell you from experience that you'll regret it. You'll end up dead and we'll have lost you. Show me that you're willing to help us, and I'll be willing to put you in a good word for you with the association. Huh. You don't have to threaten me. I thought there might be a lifeboat or something out there, but there's nothing. Getting out here was a huge pain in the ass, and it looks like it was all for nothing. Once, I might have jumped off just to spite you, but now... Now I've got a promise to keep. I can't go throwing my life away. You want to interrogate me, right? Fine. I'll tell you everything you want to know. That's a small price to pay for survival. At this point, I don't care what it takes to say a lot. Excellent. This makes my little insurance trip out here well worth it. Kirei jumped onto the boat. Turn around, you idiot! Baka! Caddox! Oh, God! Rasputin, you son of a... I am no longer Rasputin. I'm just an asshole. Why, if it isn't Gordov Music? How nice to see you again. You too, Master of Chaldea. Allow me to offer my congratulations on successfully taking down Russia. Let go of him right now. I'm afraid I can't do that. I have my own concerns. You understand, of course. My job was to oversee Caddox Zemlopus' role as a krypter, and that role has come to an end. So I thought I would give him as merciful a send-off as possible. By grabbing him in the nuts and squeezing so hard they'd burst. Huh. As if Da Vinci wasn't enough, now he's gone and stabbed Caddox in the back too. As a gentleman, I'm honor-bound to stop him, but my golf punch will never work on him. Damn it, where's Holmes when you need him? I thought he was always supposed to be 2 steps ahead. Not to worry, Director Goldolf. Eliminating all of you isn't in my job description. Russia is currently my sole jurisdiction, you see. As such, I needed to handle this before you left the area entirely. I hope you can forgive the necessity of my resorting to such drastic measures, unbefitting of my age though they are. I'm afraid I lack Koyanskaya's ability to move between Lost Belts. I'm limited to getting around the same way you do. As a middle manager of sorts, I'm not able to go to the next Lost Belt without the foreign god's permission. Foreign god? Intriguing. Would you be so kind as to tell us more, Metropolitan Macarius? I'm sorry I'm late, Master. Huh? Caddox? Now then, I'd best be on my way. I hope you won't mind me saving the answer to your question for our next meeting, Sherlock. Oh, but before I go, I would at least like to put a stop to this false name you've been using for me. My true name is Rasputin. Grigory Rasputin. That said, I confess that the spirit origin doesn't belong to me. I'm simply borrowing it from a dead man. I deduced all that long ago, my dear priest. My concerns are more fundamental in nature. Where did you acquire that dead man in proper human history? Kotomine Kire's body was cremated. So how did you come to take possession of a dead man without a body? Oh, I'm sure you'll figure that out sooner or later, Sherlock. That is, after all, what you do. You once called me the incineration of humanity. A mythological murder case. In which case, go ahead and label this attack the same way. Ask yourself who committed this crime and how. Once you have arrived at that answer, we will meet again. When that day comes, I look forward to you accusing the culprit in person. Father Rasputin has made off with Kadok. What should we do, Senpai? Maybe if we turn the border around now, we can still save his scrotum. Don't bother, we'll never catch up. We can't risk going back to Russia. We'll just have to give up on interrogating Kadok Zemlopis. This was my fault. I should have considered that someone may pursue us. Damn it. I can't believe I got knocked out again. Sneaking up on people and grabbing them in the nuts is kind of your thing, huh? I think my heart actually stopped for a while back there. Indeed it did. If it hadn't, do you really think Holmes would have let us escape so easily? No, if he had realized you were still alive, they would have come back to retrieve you. I couldn't let that happen. Not after Kirstaria asked me to bring you back to Olympus. Is that so? Well, it doesn't matter either way. You wasted your time, Rasputin. Oh? Whether Chaldea kills me or Ordeem does it, I'll be just as dead. Now that I've failed, I don't belong with either of them. I'm just going to be an example to the other crypters. Huh. What is it? If you've got something to say, then spit it out, father. Apologies, I was just thinking how much easier my job would be if Kirstaria was that sort of person. At any rate, it's clear what's going to happen to you. You may have lost your nuts to run a lost belt, but you still have your serious light. That command spell belongs to our god. As long as you possess it, your life does not belong to you alone. You no longer have the option of throwing your life away, Kadok Zemlopis. Your fate is to have every last bit of your soul squeezed out of you until the day you die. Who are most Chads of FGO? I don't really talk in that logic. I think, what is it? Fergus is quite Chad-like. I don't want to part with Musashi. It's fucking ridiculous. Musashi is my best servant. How dare they make her... Yeah. I don't know the full details, but they do something to her. It's been 2 days since Rasputin, the pseudo-servant, attacked. The Chaldeans are currently on their way to the Lost Belt in Scandinavia. Everything is so white. The world's blank slate has never seemed so appropriate. It's like the entire surface has been reset. Nothing but pure white wherever you look. Everything is gone. Nature, civilization, even the flora and fauna have completely disappeared. No, not disappeared. It's more like they've all been pruned away. All there is to see in every direction is a pure white plain. Though there were a few topographical exceptions along the way. It looked like the remains of some buildings, but they appeared to have been warped by extreme heat or destroyed in some kind of shockwave. Whatever the cause, upon closer inspection, one could see that those had once been man-made structures of some kind. This led to Sarah and her allies stepping out of the shadow border to investigate further. Congrats on your Catskill. Damn it, lost data. No! 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 The atmospheric composition was normal, the air was breathable, and the gravity was the same as before, but there was no need for a hazard suit or spacesuit or anything of the sort. Good thing you didn't have to get all dressed up like an astronaut, huh? Said Leonardo da Vinci with a cherubic smile. Look, Senpai, you can see them up ahead. Buildings.
We're going to Scandinavia. Oh, never mind.
It looks like even the buildings have been bleached. That explains why we couldn't see them at a distance. Those are buildings, right? If there are any survivors here, we should bring them back to the border as soon as... She trailed off all of a sudden, probably because of what she saw was beyond anything she could have imagined. No one could blame her. Anyone else would have been agape at the bizarre sight before them. The color had been drained out of everything. Some of the parts of buildings even looked as though they had been rubbed away with an eraser. The whole thing looked like some bizarre postmodern art exhibit. It was made all the more baffling by being in the middle of a bleached desert. There were no signs of life anywhere, not even the remains of what had once been alive. It all looked so sterile, especially for ruins. It was the sort of thing you'd only see in dreams. Everyone back on the border, seeing it on their monitors, must have thought that they were looking at footage from an alien planet. Let's go in. There might still be something inside. Earth had changed. It had been completely bleached, a planet now totally devoid of life, with the exception of the Lost Belts. But even when it had been reset to a blank slate, there were still some places, some buildings, some life forms that had survived. Chaldea decided to call these remnants. Today was the first contact they had with these sorts of remnants, these buildings that had been left behind on this newly blank Earth. Despite the new director's pessimistic outlook, the other staff couldn't ignore the possibility, however slight, that there might still be some other survivors. But even though they never did find any other people, their investigation wasn't for nothing. Because they did find signs of life, signs that someone had survived all this, and had been there before them. Here, near the Scandinavian Lost Belt, in what used to be Helsinki, the capital of Finland. That's a petrified couch, if I ever saw one. Were signs in these buildings that someone, somewhere, was still alive. Signs that someone had been living here for days, weeks, even months. Empty bottles, piles of canned food, the remains of a communication device that someone had clearly spent a great deal of effort trying to repair. There was even something that looked like a doll lying on the floor, a sign that a young child had been among the survivors. And above all, they found something that had clearly been left behind with intent. According to this journal, it looks like somebody was here as recently as 2 days ago. The last entry is dated the day before yesterday. It looks like there were 6 survivors at first, but over time, their numbers gradually dwindled until... In the end, whoever wrote this journal must have been the last one to disappear. Where could they have all gone? Unfortunately, though whoever wrote the journal had excellent penmanship, it was in a language that Sarah could not read. It could have been Finnish or maybe Swedish. Either way, it may as well have been of Greek to Sarah. Why did this happen to our planet? Why do these invaders from another world hate humanity so much? If nothing else, those final questions written on the last pages were clear. Why? 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 That is all these people could ask, even as they were wiped away, almost as though they were being punished for seeking meaning in their crisis. It's time, Master. Let's head back to the border. We're almost to Sweden now. You should rest up for the coming battles. As they left the remnants behind, one thought haunted each and every one of them. Nowhere was there so much as a trace of blood, a hint of violence. Soon the shadow border will enter the second Lost Belt. Will it be a hellish wasteland inhospitable to life, or perhaps... Big-ass light! Woo! So that's what those storm walls look like from the outside. Yep, finally about to take the plunge into the Scandinavian Lost Belt. And not because we have no other choice, like with Russia. This time we choose to do it ourselves. As you all saw, there's a tree of emptiness here as well, though at this distance it looks more like a faint pillar of light than a tree. Yes, quite so. We might not know what it's like on the inside, but we do know exactly what we need to do. This is a Lost Belt, a place carved out of a history different from our own. There is no telling what horrors may await us there. Once we cut down that tree of emptiness thingamabob, the Lost Belt will return to its original state, and the storm wall will disappear. Yup, but I think we should put this particular tree of emptiness investigation off until later. Our priority is to slip through Scandinavia and get to the Wandering Sea. Depending on what it's like in there, we might be able to just ignore the Lost Belt. If we're going to invade this place, we should do so after we've improved our offensive options at the Wandering Sea. It won't do for Sarah and Mashu to be the only two ever risking their necks on the front lines. I just hope that transmission really was from the Wandering Sea. So what now? I thought those walls were impenetrable. That we can penetrate using the Shadow Border's primary function. That storm is approximately 2 kilometers wide, so we will cross it via a zero sail. Huh? You mean we're going to dive back into void space? Come on now, surely I'm not the only one who was wildly uncomfortable seeing his soul leave his body, was I? I mean, is it just me, or is looking down at your own body in third person truly an unsettling experience? Just gonna have to deal, Gordolf. You're kidding me! You mean you're completely fine with it? Doesn't it bother you having a bird's eye view of your own life? Now, of course it makes us all feel sick, but you're the commander now, yeah? So friggin' suck it up, would you? Honestly, I've gotten used to it. I mean, a short hop through void space is nothing compared to a ray shift. Not that I've ever ray shifted myself, of course. Now don't you start talking back at me, Manware. Ray shift. Ray shift, smay shift. Clearly, the Zeo Sail program that may begin under my new administration is far more impressive in achievement. Holmes, Da Vinci, prepare the Shadow Border for takeoff. Indeed, Gordolf, I for one am truly inspired after your little speech. And well done on your part, Mr. Merwanware. That will be one less thing to worry about during our dive. Okay, places everyone. Time to strap in for today's out-of-body experience. The good news is we're not going to dive as deeply as we did last time. We're just going to skim under the surface, so to speak, so that we stick to reality space, time, and distance as closely as possible. We have to do it like that. Since we don't have anything tying us to Scandinavia, it'll be like a split-second drive into a two-dimensional plane. Think of it like going scuba diving without any oxygen tank. We just need to hold our breath for a little bit while we make our way through the wall. All set, Sarah? You do know we'll be setting foot in another brand new world soon, right? Let's go where no man has gone before. Again! Got it. Okay, then let's go see what's on the other side of this wall. Expanding Void Reality Observation Device, Paper Moon. Destination? Southern Sweden. Forgive me, I'm going to mispronounce all sorts of shit. Oi. Was it near Norrköping? Norrköping. Expanding logic formula on Shadow Border's external armor. Removing existence verification from reality space. Future prediction. Hypothetically prove mirror world plane in 20 seconds. Relaxing space-time friction decompression for 0.4 seconds. All systems are green. Void space may be a calm sea, but as always, don't forget to watch out for big waves. Shadow Border. Untether from reality. Void space drive. Zero sail. Unfurl. I'm gonna get some water. Looks like a PSP game. Thank you for the Saint Quartz. We are now just beginning Section 1. Shoot me now. How many sections is this? Do you have any idea? That would be good to know. I've always hated Sundays. That's a weird way to start. Hey, look at that. Is it because I hate my father? No. Is it because I hate my mother? No, it's not that either. When I was little, I wholeheartedly embraced their dreams for me. I really thought everything they talked about would come true. I didn't need to hate them. I didn't even need much in the way of parental love from them. I believed that I would one day reach the sixth imaginary element, just as they wanted. I would be the one to make my family's long-held dream come true. I had gained the power I needed to accomplish that. But even so, I hated Sundays. Detested them, even. I loathed having to spend all day Sunday at home. The home I grew up in, with my parents. From the time I woke up until the time I went to bed, it felt as though that giant ceiling was crushing me to death. I don't hate my parents, I respect them, I'm proud of them. That much has never changed. So then, what did I hate about Sundays? Because it meant you only have one day left before you gotta go back to work. Report from the computer room! Report from the computer room! So far, the Zero Sail is looking just peachy. Just kick back and enjoy this little voyage through the sea of time. We've got 150 kilometers to cross. At our current reduced speed, I think it should take us about an hour or so. Uh-oh, somebody's not happy about this trip. What happened to all that bluster you were spouting just a little while ago? I know this is only our second voyage, but you should be used to this by now. Am I wrong, Gordolf? Oh yes, you did need something technical, advisor. Is it tea time already? Something you're worried about, Commander? Of course not. I wouldn't waste time on foolish sentiment. I thought I would feel better after we defeated the servant who destroyed Chaldea, but I don't at all. My poor Flush. They were the finest private army I ever had. They may have been a bunch of thugs and hoodlums, but they did their job damn well. After this whole mess is sorted out, I'll need to pay their life insurance. Once I can scrape together more of my, than a penny to my name, of course. That said, this way of getting around really is beyond the pale. I'm a man of the land, not the sea. Not that I'd hesitate to board a submarine to save humanity, of course. But this? I may be better about seasickness now, but I don't think I'll ever get used to this Zero Sail nonsense. So you still feel bad even though you're not seasick? Are you claustrophobic or something? No, I'm not claustrophobic. I don't care for this void space business. It's not something I'm just getting used to, or going to get used to. Let me be clear, getting used to danger means losing sight of security. Oversights, betrayals, bankruptcy, victories getting revoked by judges, all those sorts of retributions stem from carelessness and arrogance. You can't assume everything will be sunshine and roses just because things happen to go your way once. Not to mention verifying the existence of void space may be a great feat, I'll admit, but be honest. You still don't have a clue what it is, do you? No. I make it a rule never to get on any machine I can't drive myself, and yet... void space is something only a tiny handful of mages have ever so much as touched. Just thinking about floating around in there makes me... Oh no, I think I'm going to be sick! You say that, and yet your complexion tells me that you're feeling just fine, Gordolf. No, Mr. Gordolf. I admire your gumption. The rest of the staff are equally versed in science and magecraft, but you, Director, are a mage's mage. That is why traveling through void space puts you so ill at ease. You are keenly aware of of both the benefits and risks posed by the Zero Sail. Yet despite that, you are doing your utmost to remain calm and collected. That is truly keeping a stiff upper lip, as they say, commendable. You must have hit rock bottom quite a few times in your life. Perhaps you're accustomed to being in quite dire predicaments at this point. I'm accustomed to nothing of the sort. I've never once crossed the finish line in last place, I'll have you know. Crossed the finish line in last place. I've never heard an expression like that before, Director Gordolf. Well, of course you haven't. Once you get to be a man of my caliber, Miss Mashu, even the expressions you use take on a special life of their own. That's the first time he's ever addressed me respectfully. That's Holmes's way of complimenting you, Director. I think so too. Mr. Holmes only speaks about what he is certain of, after all. You got that right. That's a hell of a nice way to put it, Mashu. Oh, I see. So that's what that was about. If you both say so, you might be right. By the way, technical advisor, what's our itinerary for this voyage look like? Huh? Director Gordolf, Da Vinci just briefed us about that right after we arrived in void space. Maybe he blacked out after we started zero sail? Oh. I'm so sorry, Mr. Gordolf. We had no idea you lost consciousness with your eyes open. What? Come on now, don't be absurd. I've handled the G-forces from accelerating to over 250 kilometers per hour, I'll have you know. I say, what about you, youngster? Yes, you, Sarah. Your file said you frequently fall into REM sleep. I believe it even said you could do it standing up, if I'm not mistaken. Is that some kind of special skill of yours? That's right. We call it the Sarah Rem. Huh, no way, I was just kidding about the skill part. Are you people alright? At any rate, it seems you doze off just as easily as I do. Do you remember what briefing was about? Perhaps now would be a good time to review all that you know while we're at it. Yes, that's a good point, I'm sorry. Oh, but as for Senpai, I think she went off to have lunch with Foe after we left on the zero sail. You heard the man, Da Vinci. Would you be so kind as to summarize our current situation for him? Sure, if that's what he wants. Okay, let's go over our immediate itinerary again. We've just entered the Scandinavian Peninsula. Right around here. At the moment, we're still diving through the storm wall. You know, Ushiwakamaru summer would be really nice, but I still think, like, regular outfit Ushiwakamaru is, like, more attractive, so I don't need her. We'll see. I'm definitely going out for Scotty instead. On our current route, we should then emerge here in Northern Europe. At the southern part of Sweden. It's only a 10-kilometer trip, but since we don't have any connection to Scandinavia, surfacing at our intended destination will come down to a combination of dice roll and my navigational genius. And since I've got my hands full making sure our coordinates don't go fluctuating all over, we have no way of knowing if there will be any hostile entities on the other side. So be ready for an even rougher emergence than the one we went through in Russia. So in other words, entering one of these lost belts inevitably comes down to the luck of the draw, huh? Just to make doubly sure, is there any way we could ignore the Scandinavian lost belt and head straight to the North Sea? Certain conditions need to be in place for us to emerge inside a lost belt, right? Then why go out of our way to do that? Even if we don't know the Wandering Sea's exact coordinates, if we can just get out to the North Sea. I know, but I'm afraid that's just not possible. We're currently skimming right next to the border between reality space and void space. It's the only way we can peek into reality from void space, which we have to do if we're going to emerge somewhere we lack a connection to. In addition, the amount of power the shadow border consumes in this mode is directly affected by the amount of real-world distance we travel. I mean, it would have to be, given that we're following reality so closely. And at our current power levels, there's no way the border can zero sail more than 300 kilometers near the Mirror World plane. All this techno-babble. So we have to emerge in the Scandinavian Lost Belt if we're going to stock up for the journey to the Wandering Sea. I see, this zero sail business sounds good on paper, but it certainly has more than its share of drawbacks, doesn't it? Basically, if we want to go diving and emerging whenever we like, or wherever we like. Yes? Well, we can't. Neither the border nor myself are up to that, at least not right now. Sorry, Gordy. Sorry and sixpence won't get you a decent cup of tea these days. Fine. You're saying you want a real lab with full facilities, right? Once we make our way through Scandinavia and meet up with the Wandering Sea, then things should improve at least a little, yes? You've got it. I'm glad you're such a quick study. So as I was saying earlier, just kick back and enjoy the last bit of our voyage. We're currently off from the real-world time by about 10 days. We'll emerge from void space as soon as we're through the storm wall. So it's just like what happened in Russia, then. That would mean one of those enormous trees really is there in Scandinavia, too. Indeed. We could see it for ourselves before we began our journey through the storm wall. If we just so happen to emerge near the Tree of Emptiness, we will need to choose between leaving Scandinavia behind or investigating the tree. Regardless, we'll no doubt need to make our way across a considerable bit of land once we reach the inside of this lost belt. I encourage you all to remain calm and in control so that we may better react to whatever awaits us. I wonder if this lost belt will be anything like Russia's. Although, when the Russian Tree of Emptiness came crashing down, it did so in a rather indecipherable... What was that? Is something coming towards us? Something's pinging our omnidirectional sonar. What the? There's something with a fixed wavelength moving around. Something with a fixed wavelength? Do you mean there's something else here besides the shadow border? Wait, what? Hold on. Just hold on. You mean to tell me there's something alive out there in void space? Woo-hoo! Indeed, under normal circumstances, nothing could possibly exist in void space, unless it were itself composed of void. There are exceptions, though. Namely, the all-terrain void transporter Shadow Border, its crew, and the Paper Moon. And that can only mean... there's someone or something else that can travel via Zero Sail? If there were, it would require technology that surpasses Atlas's. I wish I could say that were entirely impossible, but we can't rule it out. Da Vinci, are you seeing anything on your end? Your eyes should be just as good, your eyes should be a good deal sharper than ours. I'm sorry, but I've got my hands full keeping track of the real world's terrain. I can't spare any cameras to see what might be near us. Oh, but I have noticed one thing that's strange. The Shadow Border's been running really smoothly for a while now. So there's definitely something out there in our vicinity. I just couldn't tell you what it is. The Border's also got Magecraft and Spirit radars in addition to the sonar. But they're not turning anything up either. Since I can't imagine there could be anything living in void space, I'm guessing it's using a soliton-like wave. Soliton-like wave conduction, but... Wait. Director Gordolf? We're under attack! Oh, who was it saying the old man had gotten used to this stuff? It must be some sort of monster or servant with the ability to zero sail. They could be anywhere. Yes, that's a distinct possibility. Rasputin mentioned something along those lines, too. As I recall, he said that while he was unable to freely move between Lost Belts, Koyanskaya could do so. It's difficult to imagine she employs the same method that we do, but she may well have her own means of crossing dimensions. There, you see? You all saw Ivan the Terrible for yourselves. These Lost Belts are obviously full of monsters. It wouldn't surprise me at all if one of them was a rider with just that sort of skill. Do you even hear yourself? This is void space. This whole dimension shouldn't even exist. There's no way there could be anything else here besides the border. A creature or heroic spirit with the ability to conduct a zero sail, I know Miss Miyamoto wanders between parallel worlds, but only in that she tumbles from one to another. She's only a drifter who keeps falling through realities because all other possibilities have abandoned her. There is no being in all of reality space besides us who can travel freely between dimensions. That, at least, was what the Atlas Institute's Trismegistus said of 2018. Still, it's not something we can rule out entirely. That we are here ourselves means it must be possible for someone else to be as well. Couldn't you have kept that to yourself, Holmes? You're just gonna work the old man up even more. Did it just get even closer? Please calm down, Director. I know this might not help your mind at ease, but I think I sense something close. Is it something we've seen before? No, I don't think so, but strangely enough, I also don't think that whatever it is malicious. In fact, I think it might even be kind of warm and comforting. Oh, come now. That's standard operating procedure. Or demon operating procedure. They bait their hooks with kindness. Well, I'm not falling for it. I'm going to listen to my own instincts. Listen up, all of you. I have no desire to become an adventure-crazed nut like the rest of you, but even I can see that making an emergency exit out of void space is our best option here. Therefore, as the director of Chaldea, I am ordering the Shadow Border to make an immediate emergency exit into reality space. An emergency exit? I want to take Masha's side here, but I have to admit Gordolf has a point. One thing's for sure, there's something out there that even I can't see. We shouldn't take that lightly. So my vote is for the emergency exit. As luck would have it, we're very close to the end of the storm wall. That said, there's one thing I want to go over first. We've already crossed the border. We're currently in what used to be southern Sweden, somewhere inside the Scandinavian Lost Belt. But when we emerge, the risks will be even greater than they were back in Russia. Cutting out the future predictions in order to force our way back into reality could result in the entire Shadow Border coming apart. And it's not just the border. All of you could end up seriously hurt as well. If yourselves from 10 days ago happen to overlap with yourselves from now, just having your bodies catch up with their own regulatory functions will still be enough to make you vomit. Are you okay if it ends up happening? Of course, as this vehicle's central processing unit, I'll be doing my best to avoid that. Of course! At this point, a little nausea is nothing. Just get us the hell out of here, Da Vinci. I don't want to spend another second with this unknown thing, if I can help it. I'm responsible for all of your lives here. As such, I refuse to continue a voyage in such a close proximity to an unknown entity. Get the Shadow Border to the surface right now! Don't make me repeat myself again, just hurry! Alrighty, if you're ready to face the music. I'll do my best to make sure it's a pleasant tune. Minware, I'm going to switch over to manual. We don't want the safety functions putting on the brakes on autopilot. Are you serious? Doesn't that completely go against the manufacturer's recommendation? Fuck manufacturer! Recommendations. Initiating high-speed calculations, preparing to emerge in... Ah, an emergency alert. Everyone strap in. Take deep breaths while you still can. Don't worry about that alert. We're just putting a little more strain on the hull than it's designed for. Isn't that incredibly dangerous? Da Vinci knows what she's doing. Right, you're right. I believe in her, senpai. I really didn't want to resort to this since it gives me a bad fever. This new, smaller body just isn't as resilient as my old one. I'll do whatever I can to help. Patch me into the console if you would. I'll help too. Thank you, I'm afraid I'm regulated to learning by observation myself, but the more hands-on the better. If only Mr. Babbage were here to assist us. I hear you, but I'm afraid the Spirit Origin briefcase alone just isn't enough to summon him outside of short battles. We'll just have to make do. Man, wouldn't it be great if another Salieri dropped into our laps right now? Like, say, now? Damn, it didn't work. Well, worth a shot. Guess we're on our own after all. Alright then, let's do this thing. Activating Paper Moon. Initiating Planet Navigational Chart plus Minage Convergence. Commencing Shadow Border's docking sequence into Reality Boundary. Disengaging Mirror World Plane Voyage. Though the stratum may dissolve, I continue to exist, reapplying time flow attraction from reality space. 0.4 second difference between target coordinates and current recognition. Confirmed. That's well within tolerances, so we are good to go. Emerging from void space. 30 seconds until arrival at reality space. Zero sail complete. Emerging into reality space. I don't know what you're talking about between Chika, Kaguya, and Shirogane. Oh wait, did they add more dances? I think I've only seen the Chika dance at the end of the first season. Okay, we're here. After tons and tons of technobabble. And there's actually a fight! Who'd have thought we'd actually get gameplay? Who'd have thought? What on earth are all of these? Oh, that's so nifty. Wait, what? Yeah, weird. They're telling you the advantages. What is mix? Mix? What is mix? Is that a new one? We got a new one? Fuck, I didn't notice that. Let's use you. Loading, loading, loading. Stargazer Journey. Include Mashu in a party for... Yeah, I will. I got you. I'll do it. I really wish I could get another chance for this craft essence. It's such a good one. Alright, I've got Saber Altar in my party just in case well, I'm trying to build her so I can do an interlude. She needs a little bit more bond. Did I pull Okita Altar? I did. She's not fully leveled yet. The Ortonax exoskeleton is operating within expected parameters. Internal pressure regulation, combustion, and weaponry are all good to go. Armored Shielder is cleared to deploy. Well, feeling up to this, Mashu? Yes, all of my readings and transformations are working well, although... What's up? I thought you'd be ejecting me again, but this chamber and model both seem very different. Well, sure, last time we were sending you into the thick of an ongoing battle, but this time we're just having you check out your surroundings. Besides, Master's coming along with you. We can't go shooting you both out, can we? Huh. Right, good point. I forgot that Senpai will be joining me. Alright, let's try this again. Are you all set? Yes. Armored Shielder, ready to deploy. You got it. Shadowboarder, open the hatch. We are go for our first recon mission. Dude, I love Saber. She's my favorite, hands down. But Saber Altar is also fantastic, so it's a really close call. At least when it comes to Shinjuku's Altar. Senpai. How are you feeling, Mashu? Don't worry, I'm feeling fine. And the Ortonax is in great shape, too. Da Vinci really is a genius. After all that intense fighting we did in Russia, it's still in perfect working order. Thanks to that, I should be able to use all of my power at any time. All that aside, this place is very snowy, isn't it, Senpai? It's 3 degrees Celsius, but the wind isn't cold at all. And the air feels crisp and clean. It feels like a real winter wonderland compared to Russia. I'm sick of all this snow, though. I'm sure the temperature will drop to well before below 0 once night falls, but right now, I'm just enjoying how peaceful it is. It's really romantic, baby. I agree, I was just thinking the same thing. We still don't know exactly what this Lost Belt is like, but at least this place seems quite peaceful. It's enough to make me hope that maybe not every Lost Belt is dangerous. But this really isn't the time to wax philosophical. Let's get started, Master. Alright, it's perimeter check time. Right, let's start by looking for some sort of hill so we can get a better view of our surroundings. The border is recharging for a while, for now, while it stays camouflaged in the snow. Da Vinci said it would take about 3 hours for it to charge up completely, so let's do our best to explore as much as we can in that time. I also love Mordred. It's nothing but snowy fields as far as I can see. And then there's... Senpai, look! That's quite pretty. Look at that! It's a white mountain range stretching on forever, and I think they've made it... they're made of ice and snow? There's some sort of blue haze to the north, about halfway along the range. Wait, is that... I see fire inside the mountains. I see fire burning the trees. I see fire hollow in soul. I see fire, blood in the breeze. Yes, there's fire burning in parts without trees. I can't see such a thing happening naturally, so it must be some sort of magecraft at work. It's on fire. So that's what this Lost Belt is. A world of mountains, white ice, and blue flame. And then there's the sun? It's much too big to be the sun, though. This doesn't add up. I've heard parts of Scandinavia can get almost no sunlight for months at a time. But I've never seen anything about the sun being this size. I doubt any such records even exist. The sun, huh? And another thing, I don't see the Tree of Emptiness anywhere. But we saw it when we went into the storm. It was clearly visible from outside the Lost Belt. I can't imagine it was suddenly wiped from existence, so maybe it's being hidden with magecraft. Well done on the reconnaissance, you two. We finally had a moment to catch our breath here. Holmes! It seems you're about 500 meters away. Well chosen. That's just about the perfect distance since we're still unable to detect hostile entities. Thankfully, our emergency exit didn't strain the border as much as we anticipated, but I'm afraid it's still not going anywhere for the time being. Still, we cannot afford to waste any time, which is of course why we sent the pair of you out to investigate. A land of fire and ice, It seems that this Lost Belt will present its own challenges, as I feared. That's all we can see from here. Thank you just the same. We have a faint visual here as well. The sun does indeed appear to be far larger than is normal, but it should be tens of billions of years before it reaches this size. We still don't understand how drastically a Lost Belt can change its environment, but if this one has transformed our sun into a red giant, were that the case, forget the ice and snow, the whole world would be a scorched desert. Miss Curiolite may be able to survive such an environment, but Miss Sarah most assuredly would not. Yes, which means that may not actually be our sun. So it may well be something that looks like the sun, but is in fact not. I don't recall anything along those lines in Scandinavian or Germanic folklore, but I'll take another look just in case. Those flames don't look like your typical forest fire. That would be because they aren't. Take a look. Nothing is actually burning. I'm not sure how it works, but the fire appears to be something entirely separate and floating above the mountains. Mysterious to be sure, but there is little cause to doubt this phenomenon is the result of some form of magecraft. Whatever it is, it must be the work of a krypter or a Lost Belt servant. That I can say for certain. What could their true name be? Mr. Holmes really hit the nail on the head, Senpai. Well, of course he did. He's famous for always finding the truth of any situation right away. And of course, for captivating readers with his brilliant and elegant deductions. Ha 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 ha! Thank you, Miss Curiolite. Though I must admit it is a touch embarrassing to be so effusively praised for the novelizations of my cases. But perhaps that's not so bad every once in a while. I'm not usually one to skip straight to the conclusion. But yes, I am quite certain that the one who created those flames is... What is it? Do calm yourself, foe.
Fuck you!
Foe, what is it? You're talking like a sailor. Master, get behind me! We've just discovered an enormous humanoid creature. An enormous humanoid creature, you say? I see, that is troubling, most troubling indeed. He appears to be about 5 meters tall, his arms are also very long, and he's wearing some sort of mask. I think he's speaking a language of some kind, but... I can't make out what he's saying. It sounds more like an animal howling than any language I know of. Hello, bonjour, guten tag, ni hao, konnichiwa? Please listen to me. We are not your enemy. We don't mean you any harm. We are... He doesn't understand. Master, I'm afraid he's coming right for us. He's about to attack. I'll back you up. Understood. Moving to intercept the hostile. Speaking of Attack on Titan, anyone excited for the
Upcoming final season.
We gotta fuck you up. Oh, it's so nice to take a break from reading constantly. It has officially taken us an hour and 18 minutes to get to the first fight. Giants were extinct in Nasuverse? I don't know enough about that. Fuck 'em up, Musashi! So the existence of these Yotun, or however you say them, is the reason for, or part of the reason for this Lost Belt, one of the major deviations from history. Dude, you take a lot of health, you fuck nugget.
Revenge for Musashi!
Yeah, we'll do a triple buster. Your ass, be grass. Such a nice, noble phantasm. Yes, over an hour. FGO's story's ridiculous. Right here, what hurts? What hurts? We need a caster. We're gonna bring Merlin along. Hey, Merlin.
We love you, Merlin. We do. We also do.
Really? Yo 10? In Scandinavian, the U makes an E shit? An E sound? So what is it, like Götterdämmerung? The battle is over. We've neutralized the threat. Masha, you're looking mighty tired. Thank you for your concern, Master, but I'm alright. The sudden attack just had me a little out of breath is all. It's nothing to worry about. All of my vital signs are fine, and I'm still good to go. I'm doing my best to analyze the recording and battle data now, but at this point I can only say that creature you fought is nothing like we've seen. Neither heroic spirit nor a demonic beast. He was simply an enormous humanoid creature native to Scandinavia, one that could not possibly exist in the 21st century. A giant. As in mythical giants? Correct. I'm pleased you're already familiar with them. For the record, if you just say no out of context, I'm never going to understand what you're referring to. It's really hard to keep track of all that. I read that a number of powerful giants used to live in Scandinavia. Of course, this was all a long time ago. In the modern era, there have barely been any giant sightings in Sweden, Denmark, or Norway. Barely. I believe most of them were during the Age of Gods, back when the old mystics still existed. I'm sure there are some exceptions, but even so, to encounter one out of nowhere like this. Both Gordolf and Mr. Manuel are in something of a tizzy about this impossible encounter, but yes, in the year 2020, giants have long since ceased to exist. And yet you've obviously just met one, albeit one that tried to kill you even after you attempted to communicate with him, but still. I caught a glimpse of his eyes behind the mask, and he seemed consumed by bloodlust. No, you're fine. Just speak in complete sentences if you want me to understand what you're trying to say. So I just don't know. Damn it. No, damn it. So in this version of Scandinavia, creatures from the Age of Gods still live. That is most troubling. I had considered the possibility, but I didn't think it would prove to be true so soon. Damn you, krypters! Damn you for throwing something like this at us only in the second Lost Belt. Have you no sense of restraint? That said, we are far from completely helpless. Miss Curielite, Miss Sarah. To begin, I've updated our database with everything I could determine about this creature. We were unable to detect it from the border because Chaldea had no information about ancient giants. Furthermore, I also learned something rather unexpected about the ice and snow surrounding us. What about them? They are imbued with a faint magical energy. The trace is so minute that only an expert mage would even be able to detect it at all. This small amount of magical energy created enough interference in our equipment that we were unable to detect the giant's approach. Da Vinci is still quite upset about it. She says being plugged into a function as a bio-unit dulls her senses. Nonetheless, I'll do my best to update our data immediately. I'm also sending an update for the Ortnax's firmware. Firmware updates for the Mash. Right, confirming update now. Master! I'm picking up new hostiles in our periphery. There's at least one, two, no, several ice beasts traveling across another giant. Or alongside another giant. It's probably the giant's puppers. I'm gonna take a picture real quick of what you just said. Because otherwise I'll fucking forget. Time to fight!
命のやり取りとか面倒なことになってるな。
Gotta fight the puppers.
お望みいいとも。そうです。計略だ。そうです。
What is that supposed to mean? Indeed, I am a professional YouTuber. Whatever that means.
そうです。罠。そうです。
Is the giant's puppers? What's puppers, precious?
いいとも。
They're so fucking cute if they weren't gnawing on your face. Actually, those jaws are fucking huge. It's actually quite spooky. I'm sorry, I might have missed it, but how many sections are in this Lost Belt, do you know? Not like it really helps clear issues up because a section can last for fucking ever. I'm using a lot of stuff I learn about Almolai case files in my lessons in Magecraft, but yeah, eventually I want to do it. I don't know if all the light novels are translated, because that's the hard part, because the anime itself was just basically like a mix. 17, huh? Alright. Excuse me. I'm always tired. And this Lost Belt came at a rather inopportune time for me. I've been enjoying my time playing Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. It's a shame I have to stop for this, but it's also fun. Did Patrick Poole play Shiro in, what, Sentai in the Ilya stuff? If so, I'm pretty sure they'll keep with Bryce Papenbrook, or whatever, Papenbrook, for. anything that comes out of Ufotable.
I got a Saint Quartz for another master level.
Whee! I love me some God Eater. The first one's my favorite, the Resurrection. That should wrap things up for now. We've defeated another giant and several ice beasts. I no longer detect any hostiles or magical energy signals in your vicinity. Wait, you're right, Mr. Holmes. I can sense faint magical energy around us, coming from the snow. Could a giant be controlling the snow? Good question. I don't recall any giant like that from Norse mythology offhand. Let's hash that stuff out later, you two. For now, you should hurry back to the border. Holmes, from now on, maybe start waiting until people are in a safe location before you start with your long-winded explanations. There's no guarantee there aren't any other giants still lying in wait out there. Both of you, get your butts back here, and be careful. Anyway, great job collecting all this data right after we emerged. This should be a big help. Oh good, you're back. Welcome home, you two. It's good to be back. The Ortonax is working wonderfully. Thank you again for that. Glad to hear it. Gordolf's having a little rest. Said he was having a nervous breakdown or something. I guess the emergency exit was pretty hard on him. Guess all that worrying he did about scouting out our surroundings after we emerged was for nothing. I wouldn't say that. He's trying to keep us safe in his own way. Naturally, his primary concern is his own survival, but that's still an important part of being a leader. When things get dangerous, you snap to attention. When things get dicey, you get right the hell out. That's how things are supposed to go, but the further removed the higher-ups get from the action, the softer they get when it comes to making those calls. So in that sense, Director Gordolf is exceedingly good at his job. I'm not sure why, but he seems to treat any danger his field operatives are in as danger to his own life. I wonder what that's all about. Maybe he had a really strict tutor growing up or something. You know, like someone teaching him to think about war from the perspective of people he's sending out onto the battlefield. Oh yeah, I see what you mean. That would definitely explain some things. Now that you mention it, he always looked like he was in a lot of pain whenever Sarah was in a tight spot back in Russia. Talk about empathy. No wonder he was always kicking up such a fuss. At any rate, make sure you write up the recon findings in a nice report template when you hand it off to him. If you don't mind, that ought to be more than enough to keep old Gordy in the loop. On a different note, you guys really had a rough time out there, didn't you? Yes, we did. Giants are beings from the Age of Gods. Not even mages have seen more than an occasional fossil of them. Any survivors in areas where mystics were still in full force were probably seen as threats and taken out by the heroes of their respective ages. They're certainly not something you'd run into every day. I mean, you guys didn't see hide nor hair of them in any of the 7 eras you ray-shifted to, right? Not even in the actual Age of Gods. And now we just happen to run into not 1, but 2 in modern-day Scandinavia? I believe those giants you encountered were... what did you say I had to do with those? The O sound. Let me look that up again. So would that mean you're calling them like Yatun or something? Is it like a silent J? The O is more like an I sound? Oh no, but then you. Fuck. This is so tough. I just don't have any experience with it. So the O thing, the O with the dots, is basically like an eye. That's how I'm conceiving it right now. In fact, let me see what Forvo has to say with that.
Jötun, 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 Jötun.
So Jötun, Jötun. Fuck. Well, it's not Yotun, it's Yetun or something, kind of, right? I believe those giants you encountered were, Jitnar, members of the Jotun race of giants. In the Age of Gods, the Norse world was composed of 9 realms. One such realm was Muspelheim. God damn it. Give me a chance to read. Muspelheim, the land of flame. Another was Niflheim, the land of ice, through which an icy river of poison flowed. When these 2 realms collided, the poisonous frost melted. Then, when it was exposed to Muspelheim's heat, grew into a tremendous giant. Now, I never really got it right. Is it Haim or Heim? I think it's Haim. Alfheim? Spilheim, you know, that kind of stuff. Could be wrong. This was Ymir, said to be the ancestor of all Norse giants. The race of giants that went on to spring forth Ymir's body were called Jotun, the Frost Giants. These giants were truly beings belonging to the era when gods walked the earth. At times, the Jotnar would mix with the Norse gods, giving birth to new gods and giants alike. It's said that the surviving Jotnar eventually fell out of mythology and went on to become trolls. But what you 2 saw today were no trolls. They were most definitely Jotnar. Do you know a lot about giants, Holmes? Okay, so it is with the AI kind of Heim. Alright. I am the one who finds the truth, regardless of my spirit origin. I believe I said as much when I introduced myself. No, sorry, I'm just having you on a bit. You see, the paper moon is not the only thing I picked up while I was visiting the Atlas Institute. Try Hermes. Precisely. While there, I came in contact with the pseudo-spiritron calculation engine, Try Hermes. When I did so, I happened to peruse some medical data pertaining to giants. Now I see. Holmes, you rascal. Ha ha ha. I don't see what's so funny. Don't you ha 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 me, Buster. You're supposed to tell me these things before I need to know them. It's not fair that you get to do all the fun exposition. Besides, we're a team. You know we should be, pooling our knowledge and stuff. I shall take that under advisement, especially considering it comes from none other than the great Leonardo da Vinci herself. All that said, I could certainly use a bit more information myself. It is simply a Norse lost belt, where a once lost race of giants still runs amok. No, I very much doubt that is all there is to it. Right, the ones you saw today were powerful beings of mystics, but they were still living creatures. If nothing else, I can say for sure that the beings we encountered weren't servants. To be fair, I never watched the Thor movies. I'm not a huge fan of them. I can say for sure that the beings we encountered weren't servants. Correct. They were indeed absolutely not servants. Based on what we know from Russia, we can assume there is a being here who rules over this lost belt, and a krypter who tends to the Tree of Emptiness. While our primary concern is that with the latter, there remains a strong possibility that we will come into conflict with the former as well. That said, our goal this time does not include engaging them in battle. Our intent is to cross Scandinavia without them ever knowing we were here. Yup, exactly. Still, we really should take a little break first, don't you think? Thankfully, there's a lot more magical energy concentrated here than there was in Russia, so the border shouldn't have any problem recharging. We'll set off again in a little while, so make sure you two rest up while you can. Hiking across snowy mountains does a real number on your legs and back, you know. I very much recommend getting those kinks ironed out while you can. Right, oh, but first, I almost forgot, Mr. Holmes. Yes, Miss Curiolite? I'm sorry, but back when we had just looked over the mountain range, remember how you and Senpai were talking? At the time, there was something else we wanted to ask about. What's the deal with the fire we saw? Yes, the strange fire that kept burning without spreading. Do you know what it is, Mr. Holmes? I can't say I know for certain. I only have a hypothesis, albeit one in which I am quite confident. I suppose that would make this more of an introduction than a deduction. At any rate, yes, that fire is none other than... Stop interrupting! Another alert! Fool! 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 What the hell? Are our sensors busted? Crap, no, it's worse. They're working perfectly. Sarah, Holmes, a freaking enormous magical energy signal just popped up near us out of nowhere. It's like a magical reactor core. This monster's on par with the Angerboda powered by the Greater Grail we saw in London. We get to fight, but we don't know what we're gonna fight. So I'm gonna bring you just in case. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Assault of the Demonic Sword. And damn it, we had no warning whatsoever. The thing just appeared out of nowhere. It's most likely a servant. They may have been using their spirit form. Ah, that's true, a servant could sneak up like that. Mr. Munware, is that servant from proper human history, or maybe... Well, their spirit origins pattern matches what's registered in Chaldea, but their color seems like it might be a little different. Sorry, I don't know. All I can say is for sure is that they're hostile. At least if that massively powerful curse packed into the magical energy they've got aimed right at us is anything to go by, they are. A Lost Belt servant. The border spirit radar is one of the most sensitive in the world. If it failed to detect this servant until now, then they are probably getting some help with their presence concealment. Had they wished to do so, I have no doubt they could have gotten much, much closer. And yet they instead chose to release their spirit form right in front of us, making their presence known. They must be incredibly confident, or perhaps incredibly cruel. Mr. Benware, can you put them on the monitor? No, I can't. They're right in our blind spot. And how the hell can you all be so calm about this anyway? I mean, I know we can't exactly put the borders pedal to the metal right now, but still. What do? Do we tell the rest of the staff about this? Most of them are still on break. For that matter, don't you think we should get going already, Da Vinci? Not just yet. This servant may still be trying to figure out what we are. No doubt they are aware we are nearby, but I believe they are unable to determine our exact location. That said, the longer we stay, the greater our chances of being discovered. As good as the border's camouflage is, it does not render us invisible. It is good keeping its magical energy hidden, but that doesn't help if someone starts searching the old-fashioned way. Well, Holmes, Sarah, what do you want to do? Do we keep quiet and hope they don't find us? No. Indeed. Allowing an intruder on board would be the worst possible scenario by far. None of the staff are fighters after all. The moment an enemy gets inside is the moment our little adventure comes to an abrupt end. Mr. Manware, what is the latest on a mysterious foe? Have they moved at all since appearing? No, they haven't moved a muscle since they showed up, but I still can't see anything on the monitor. They're right in the middle of our blind spot. And it would seem they're waiting to see how we react. Bold, yet with a touch of caution. Da Vinci, I'd like you to start up the border's engine with the moment we step outside. Make sure it is ready to depart at any time. You got it, but make sure you buy us enough time for it to warm up, okay? I am well aware. Now then, shall we be on our way, Miss Kirielite and Miss Sarah? Given that we're the only ones here capable of fighting, it must fall to us to greet any hostile or boorish guests. Right, I've got my exoskeleton ready to go. Sorry, I was blinking in the middle of that sentence. So I can activate it in a moment's notice. As long as it's just for a few minutes, I should be able to fight. I'm all set too. Senpai.
We make an emergency dive! I will not have you going out to face an unknown and extremely powerful foe. I absolutely forbid it. An emergency dive is the only viable option.
Director Gordolf, you're awake now?
Of course I'm awake, and I overheard your entire conversation. A situation like this calls for a retreat, not meeting the enemy on their own terms. Traversing this lost belt to make a getaway is out of the question as well. If the enemy has found us out, then our first order of business is to hide again, and that means a zero sail. They'll never find us once we dive back into void space. We can make a clean getaway.
That's true. If safety is our top priority, that's definitely an option. We'd have to figure out how to get back to reality once we set sail. But it would give us a secure way out of this particular predicament. That said, are you sure about this? We still haven't finished reapplying the logic formula. There's a non-zero chance of our armor just comes off in void space and we end up adrift there forever. Let's see, I'd say the odds of that happening are maybe 0.003%. That's nothing! I've never even come close to winning a race in my own vehicle with odds like that. At any rate, given that our only master is still unable to summon servants, fighting one this powerful is out of the question. Need I remind you of the sort of enemies we faced back in Russia? These Lost Belt servants are tremendously powerful. I learned that lesson all too well when one of them destroyed Chaldea. Just because the girl is able to fight now doesn't mean you should run to battle at every chance you get. As your commander and your director, I will support whatever option I feel offers the best chance of survival, no matter how slight the difference. No, in fact, this is an order. As to my advisors, it's your job to justify my decisions, not mine. And let's not forget our biggest concern here. We don't even know who this mysterious, probably Lost Belt servant even is. In which case, the only option I will even consider is for us to make our escape. You never waver when it keeps to keeping us all alive, huh? Alright, I'll trust your instincts here. Sorry, Holmes. Sorry, Sarah. The servant outside is so strong that I'm taking the ship back to void space. I'm not saying you wouldn't survive the encounter, with whoever it is out there. Just that it get real ugly really fast. And if the fight ended up damaging the border as well, that'd be bad news for all of us. So we're doing another zero sail? Still, if that means Mashu and Sarah can avoid this fight, I guess it's for the best. Right, you take the wheel, Minware. I'm going to head back to the computer room and plug in the border. Plug in the border. I'm pretty sure that Elia is still a homunculus, but they did stuff, didn't they? Yeah, they did things so that she could survive better. Huh? Guess I'd better buckle up. Right, I'll go along with whatever you decide, Senpai. Here we go again. Has it ever once occurred to you to obey your commander? Hey, at least now we're all discussing our options. That's a big step up from how things were before. You should be proud for inspiring this change, boss man. I can tell you're just blundering me up, Minware. Buttering me up, Minware. At any rate, let's get this zero sail started before that servant makes a move. Okay, I'm patched in and all synced up. Expanding void reality observational device, paper moon. Thank you. You can skip that. All hands be seated. And I need to remind you, do not forget your seatbelts. Expanding logic formula on Shadow Border's external armor. Expansion is currently at 90%, 93%, 98%. There. Now we just dive in and make the rest as we go along. Make up the rest as we go along. Removing existence verification for reality space. Shortened future prediction, hypothetically prove mirror world plane in 10 seconds. Relaxing space-time friction, decompression for 0.9 seconds. Good. Looks like you made it just in time, Holmes. Let me take over the wheel, Mr. Minware. In the meantime, would you be so kind as to keep your eyes on the sensors? You got it. Shadow Border. Untether from reality. Void space dive, zero sail, unfurl. Here we go again. Gordolf is annoying as fuck, though, to me. Senpai, I still have sensation in my extremities, and I can still feel normal gravity. It feels like something dragged us up. What's going on? This isn't void space. Did we fail to dive? Are we still stuck in reality? They got us good. Whoever's out there sensed our spells going off and caught us in a split second. They're physically holding us back. I'm impressed. Just their physical strength exceeds the border's maximum output. Did you say physical strength? The magical energy signal is getting stronger. Wait, hang on. The servants literally grabbed hold of the border. They're like, no, bitch. No. What the? Are we floating? Do not remove your seatbelts. All hands assume crash positions. Yeet! Whee! Get over here! Fall! Go! What happened? I don't understand. So dizzy. Is everyone alright? Are you hurt, Senpai? Yeah, I'm dead, Jobs. Thank goodness. Did we do a barrel roll and crash? Yes, I felt the same thing. It was as though the Shadow Border was picked up and then flung somewhere far away. That is precisely what happened. The hostile servant stopped our zero sail in its tracks before simply tossing us like a baseball. That is truly incredible strength. Perhaps they're a berserker? Whatever their case, they clearly possess immense strength to perform such a feat. I expect they are a rather combat-oriented servant. Probably one focus on being on the front lines, but... Attention, please. I'm afraid that crash completely shut down all our navigational systems. I can try to bypass the damaged systems, but even that's going to take some time. And then there's all the damage to the suspension. Luckily, we didn't end up completely upside down, but we're still not going anywhere anytime soon. I'm sorry, everyone. We can't dive or run away on land anymore. You have nothing to apologize for, Da Vinci. The fault lies with our uninvited guest, not you. Then you mean we're out of options? This is bad. Really, really bad, man. You're damn right it is. Magical energy signal incoming. I can tell this heroic spirit is some kind of big shot. And I'm pretty sure they're done waiting around since they're headed straight for us. 100 meters, 50 meters. Damn it, now they're right on top of us. Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you! The magical energy signature that I'm pretty sure is a servant has collided with our exterior. It's melting our external armor now. What kind of barbarian are they? It sounds like they're trying to cut their way through our defenses. Do they realize how much time I spent reinforcing this armor? There's no way anything should be able to break through it this easily. I mean, the old one spent me a ton of time, what the? The old me spent a ton of time making sure of that. What kind of weapon or noble phantasm do they have that could possibly do this? Senpai.
Ikuzo, Mashu.
Hold it, you two. Don't you think you should wait a bit and see what's happening before you? We don't have time to wait and see anymore. I'm sorry, but it's all up to you two now. Holmes, you go with them too, but watch out. That servant's magical energy is right up there with Ivan's. Make sure you don't hold anything back, or you might not be coming back at all, got it? I am well aware. I saw their spirit origin for myself earlier. If nothing else, I can promise this. I will keep Miss Sarah alive. In the meantime, Da Vinci, please focus on keeping yourself and the border safe, and getting us up and running as quickly as possible. Too much talking. Way too much talking. I've opened the hatch. I can confirm the hostile servant is on the border's port side. Step away from the vehicle! No! Well now, so that unsightly slab in this thing's... is this thing's door then? Was that a Lost Belt servant? But then, what is this ominous feeling I sense from their spirit origin? So a human and two heroic spirits. No wait, neither of you are pure heroic spirits, are you? You've both got something else mixed in. Hybrids then, interesting. The hostile servant is closing in. Now I see, you certainly do appear to be a powerful heroic spirit. The border's external armor is one thing, but to think you could cut your way down to the multi-layered bounded fields surrounding the inner hull. Beckett Chaldea, Da Vinci, Nitocris, and Paracelsus all worked to ensure those bounded fields would be as strong as any from the Age of Gods. They should have been just as strong as a fortress made of divine iron, yet you cut through them like so much butter. And without even revealing your true name. Fascinating. Tell me, how did such a powerful demonic sword possibly come to be? Because Sigurd is like fucking mecha bitch now. Are his eyes glowing red? Oh, I was right. It is a demonic sword then. I thought it seemed far too dark to be a sacred sword. I don't talk to humans. Well now. He hit so hard, and he's still only using that short sword at his waist. This must be the incredible strength that let him pick up the border and just throw it. You're not getting past me. Couldn't even see him swing his sword. Gotcha. That's how I barely managed to make it out. What the? And only just. He is truly an incredible master swordsman. If only Miss Miyamoto were here right now. I'm afraid those were a little more than jabs as far as he was concerned, Miss Kyrielite. Though I am certain that is not how it felt to you. Have you lost your mind, girl? Why are you still standing there? You should be throwing down that impenetrable shield of yours and running for all you're worth by now. You don't look like enough of an idiot to fail to see how outmatched you are. I will endure if I have to. I can't let everything end here.
Fool! 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 Fool!
Foe, not again! You shouldn't be here. You need to get back inside the border. And thank you for worrying about me. That servant is truly incredibly strong, much stronger than me in the Ortonax. Something about him reminds me of another heroic spirit we've met. I don't know if I can beat him, even with Holmes's help, but still. It doesn't matter. Even if I'm not strong enough, I can't back down. This journey isn't ours alone, not anymore. Maybe it never was. Just because I may not be able to the task in front of me now doesn't mean I can give up on the journey as a whole. Steel yourself! A journey, huh? Frankly, I don't give a damn. I have my own destination in mind. I'm afraid this just isn't your lucky day, girl, or yours, kid. Now that our paths have crossed, I'm going to kill you and take your prized treasure with me. Another short sword. Here he comes. I'll back you up as well. Fate Redline is a kind of a remake of the, what do they call that? The little funny Nobu comics. I forgot their name, but they're being remade to look more serious, to have a more serious tone. You know, the story of where Nobu meets Okita and all that good stuff. Go, go, power Sigurd! He punches swords at you. He punches swords at you. He's being an archer. What kind of servant uses swords as projectiles? Like all of them. Koha Ace, yay. Wait. Is it? No. Is it? Fuck. What was the other one? Learning with Mongo is the one where frickin' Lumberjack came from. Did I get Ryomo from Guda Guda 3? Ryoma? Isn't that the 4-star welfare? If so, yeah, I did get him. Let's see if I can fuck him up with the power of Musashi. That didn't do jack shit.
Not that this is gonna do much, but at least you have an NP now.
寝てないぞ。本気で行くぞ。あ、私か。そういうこと。待ってました。無理、無理、無理。
Well, no, one of them is done by the artist who draws the April Fool's portraits and stuff, and then the other one has the funny Gouda Gouda eyes, where they draw the big, you know, empty eye. No, I brought Okita against a question mark, not against Sigurd. How was I to know? That should do the trick. No? No? You're still alive? Yuck. Masha, we're going to save Waver. Not like Waver was really hanging out there much. Focus on me, you bitch. For I am invincible. Well, I go into these blind. There are so many other YouTubers who just basically read the wiki to you for all the servants, for analysis and stuff like that. I couldn't care less about that. I want to figure it out myself. My options suck right now. I was just trying to... Do we really have to break this fuck? No, we're good. Mine is Scotty, and whoever the heck I think is the hottest at that point from Summer. Bonus points if they're a freaking class that I don't normally cape. Thank you, Holmes. That beam was a big help. No trouble at all, Miss Kyrielite. I must say, though, you certainly don't hold back. Not to say that you are not pulling your punches quite a bit, Lost Belt Servant. I don't suppose you'd be so kind as to introduce yourself? Yes, I see. Now that I've seen your strength up close, some things have become abundantly clear. Your swordsmanship is exquisite, surely the finest in the Norse lands. You are also immensely strong and have both the knowledge and reflexes to dodge my magical energy beam with ease. You knew, didn't you? You knew I was a heroic spirit capable of using magecraft attacks. Your wisdom alone is truly a force to be reckoned with. Which means... you must be the one who slew the evil dragon and consumed his knowledge, am I wrong? Oh? You're the child of Sigmund, King of Francia, and Hjerd's daughter of King Ailmi. Even among other peerless heroes, who stand head and shoulders above ordinary people in strength, intelligence, and all other aspects. You were hailed as the greatest warrior king of them all. A phenomenal swordsman who reforged your father's demonic sword, the one he earned after overcoming Odin's trial of Barnstalker. Then you don't mean... you are the fearsome warrior who defeated King Hunding's army, thereby avenging King Sigmund. You are the brave hero who single-handedly slew Fafnir, the evil dragon, consumed by greed, who hoarded his riches in the caves of Nidhaidar? Fuck, how do I know? You are the one who made a loyal friend out of Sleipnir's full granny, who would gladly carry you to the ends of the earth. You are the great hero who ate the dragon's heart, gaining unimaginable power and the wisdom of the gods. Your true name is Sigurd. You stand along Siegfried as one of the most powerful heroes of all of Norse myth. The Dragon's Lair? However, that raises a number of questions. A true legend you may be, but that doesn't explain where your monstrous strength comes from. More importantly, why do your eyes glow red? Because of this badass armor. So you think you're a clever one on the side of proper human history, hmm? Now what then? Now you know who you're up against. How do you intend to fight him? Sigurd, the great hero of Norse legend. After seeing how fast, sharp, and heavy his blades are, I'm convinced. And those are just his short swords. He still hasn't swung what I believe to be his true blade, the demonic sword Graham, even once. That long red sword. I'm afraid, bluntly, he was doing no more than casually parrying our attacks. Actually, Jens, is there a way I can consult you for later lore videos on that pronunciation? It's really hard to find someone who knows what the fuck they're talking about. Not to blame anyone who has been giving me advice, but I see, like, you really know your shit is what it sounds like. And I don't. He has yet to use it offensively. We still have not seen what it's truly capable of. Enough of your yapping. This pressure is intense. Like perhaps my Discord or something. I mean, they were different versions of the same legend, right? Yeah, well, you just said that. It's like, it's the same legend, but interpreted in different ways. Ah! A temporary power-up spell? Out of my way. Look out, he's going to use Graham! Die, human. Oh, no, you don't. She may be human, but I'm a heroic spirit. One, I might add, who has seen more than his fair share of combat. My apologies, but I can't have you using Graham so close to the border. Yah! Yah! Shut up. I want to watch Sherlock. Oh! Oh! Bloody moron! Guess you so-called heroic spirits are more fragile than I thought. I'm talking about pronunciation. Specifically pronunciation. I have no reason... It's hard to tell when you've got multiple people giving you different answers, and it's really fucking confusing. Who do you trust? Holmes! Senpai! Senpai! Holmes' right arm! Your arm's off! Don't worry, I won't let Holmes die. Thank you, Senpai. Fool! Fuck you! Go after him, leave me here. Senpai! I'll use a mystic code to heal him. It's not gonna work. Holmes, why did you stop her? Please, stay still so Senpai can... Don't, please. Save as much of your magical energy as you can. I like how, like, his arm is... It's hard to tell what I'm looking at. His arm is off. I can see his inner sleeve, but then his... Okay, I guess the rest of it is like his shawl or whatever flowing in the wind. Graham most certainly lives up to its reputation, but as you can see, my heart and brain are fine. I may be badly injured, but my spirit core is intact. I'm still a heroic spirit, remember? It'll take a deal more than that to finish me. Oh. It just means I'll have to use the other arm to fap for a while. A minor inconvenience, I'm quite ambidextrous, I'll have you know. Remember, said he was going to take something that lies inside the shadow border. That must be why he attacked us, whatever it is he's after. We cannot let him have it. Elementary, my dear, Miss Curiolite?
Huh?
This light, this is your noble phantasm. Precisely as you are aware, it should provide both of you and Sarah with a significant boost in strength. It may not be quite at full capacity, but it still should be rather potent for anyone attempting to fight in a desperate situation such as yourselves. Santa Monica Studios? I don't know who that be. Is that the Thor people? In my estimation, Sigurd appears to be a frightfully unnatural being. Unnatural? Yes, he uses bullshit Chunibyo armor that hasn't been invented yet. There's a chance you may still be able to defeat him. Acclimated. I'm sorry, it's rather hard to explain while I'm sober. I'm afraid I'm having difficulty putting my thoughts in order. Holmes! Vital signs confirmed. He lost a lot of magical energy, but aside from that, it's just as he said. His spirit core is still intact, Senpai. Come on, we've got to stop Sigurd. Right. I must have passed out. Good, they're gone. Whew. I see, so this is what a blow from a demonic sword feels like. How truly excruciating. Perhaps it is exacerbated by the fact that I've never experienced such a deep wound before. So, this is the sort of pain you smiled through, eh? Yelena? I mean, if God of War has all these same character names from this, I can use that as a reference too. That sounds great. Who's that? So you are still thinking clearly. Now I feel silly for ever worrying about you. Just sit tight, Holmes. Someone will come by to help you out just as soon as I finish evacuating everyone from the rear hatch. We might not be able to use the border's facilities right now, but we should be able to replenish your magical energy. Just hang in there a little longer. At least we know from your battle that this hostile servant isn't here to destroy the border. If we're lucky, he'll leave it mostly intact, so just hold tight for a bit, 'kay? Understood. That said, I'm afraid mental fortitude can only do so much here. To be honest, I'm in real danger of disappearing. I'm afraid he inscribed a death rune into me, you see? One wrong move, and that will be it for me. A death rune? But there aren't any runes like that can kill a heroic spirit. No, wait, I forgot about the primordial runes! The ones Odin created that served as a magecraft foundation for the Age of Gods. Then you mean... I do indeed. You saw our battle for yourself. Sigurd learned a number of runes from the Allfather's daughter. He must have inscribed it in the moment he cut off my right arm. It would seem he truly has it out for me. Fuck. So I'm afraid if I push myself too hard, my spirit core will fail. Happily, I can at least speak as long as I remain still, though the pain is still quite exquisite. Gosh, you really are just hanging by a thread. Okay, wait a second, I'll be right there. Right. There's so much I need to tell you, but I'm afraid I keep slipping in and out of consciousness. I'm finding it difficult to concentrate, and for some reason my thoughts keep turning to the past. Holmes! Da Vinci, would you give Mr. Goldroff a message for me? Tell him to stay put, no matter what is taken. I'm certain Sigurd has no personal interest in humans or heroic spirits. After all, he's... Part of it's comedic on purpose. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, now it can actually bring someone who matters. Dude, did it automatically highlight the archers for me? Jeebus crikey. Who should I use? Screw meta, I got Angel. Well, that's true. Lost belt to hype, indeed. What is my swimming master? There we go. I've caught up to the target. He's still somewhere inside the border. He appears to be headed for the cockpit. Holmes's noble phantasm is still active. Right. Let's kick his ass. Kick his ass. Huh? There's nobody here. No signs of a struggle either. What in the... Looks like the side hatch is open? You sure about this, old man? If you give him that, we'll be... Stop that! Shut your mouth before he kills us all! We don't have any other choice, trust me. You better not give away that suitcase. Here, this is the paper moon you said you were looking for. Go on, take it. Normally, we'd keep it hidden, but you're so strong that I decided to give it to you as a reward. I'm surprised. You humans are seldom so intelligent. Still, I didn't think you'd give it up so easily. I heard this thing was your lifeline. It may be our lifeline, but you are a threat to our actual lives. That thing certainly won't help fill our bellies. Now, go on. You got what you came for, didn't you? You don't have any further business with us, right? Right? Without the paper moon, we're just helpless drifters at this point. It's only a matter of time until we die on our own. There's no reason for you to sully your hands with the blood of insignificant specks like us, is there? So why not just be on your way, then? You've got a point. This sword wasn't made for cutting up useless meat. Yes, I made it out alive again! Hold it right there, varmint. Right, you need to give us back that compass right now, Sigurd. No, things were going so well. Have you gone mad picking a fight with the scary knife guy? Oh? The human and the hybrid, huh? Do you still not see how outclassed you are? Oh, I see, so you got a little boost from the heroic spirit who doesn't know when he's beaten. Fine, I suppose you're worth killing. You two obviously don't know when to quit either. Don't know when to quit either. Alright, it wouldn't hurt to put this body through its paces a little more, anyway. Give me your best shot. I'll humor you and take this at least halfway seriously. You better believe we will. We're not backing down until you leave our ship, one way or another. Huh, now you're telling me to leave. Alright, then tell me your names. I hear that's what human heroes are supposed to do. I'm Mashu Kyrielite.
And I'm Sarah.
Got it, I'll probably forget them shortly. Fine with us. Come on, Master, let's get our paper moon back from Sigurd. Conceit, overconfidence, arrogance, pride. You humans never change. You're just like the gods. Gods? Call us whatever you want, you may even be right. But be that as it may, neither Senpai nor I will back down. This time we've got Holmes cheering us on. Sigurd, if anyone's going to back down here, it will be you. We got two hot and freezing babes in the tundra. I'm gonna get some water. Give me just a sec. Booyah. Alright, Artoria, let's see what you can do. My beloved beach goddess. Show him the true meaning of strength. Power.
裏打ちはしません。
You know, what's this fucking buff on him, too? Is there something special, like, making him cheat? Immune to mental debuffs. Okay. You can't make me act stupid. And triple hearts, baby. Oh, yeah. That was pretty much the perfect move. You couldn't have done better.
スイミングの時間です。
That is so bitch.
フリーズ。
Look at all them buffs. You, I punch blade. So close. So close.
遠慮はします。
That'll be gold.
遠慮ロックオン。
That should do it.
フリーズ。
Scotty.
スー。
Scotty, huh? Is that how it is? Or Scotty? Or Scotty? Scotty? As in, like, the? I don't know. You tell me.
ええ、行きますよ、マスター。遠慮はしませんとも。ロックオン。スイミング。華麗、あまりにも華麗。小柱と血でエクスカリバービビアン。狙い撃ちです。狙い撃ちです。
Oh, so close. You're so close. Keep punching me, I dare you. Well, tell me TH as in another word. Like, TH as in the. So, Scotty? Scotty? Scotty?
遠慮ロックオン。楽しみです。フリーズ。スー。
Here he comes. Using a command spell. I didn't authorize that, but it's only for the narrative. There. I got him. That blow had all of our magical energy behind it. Both mine and Senpai's. And thanks to Holmes's help, I'm sure it was very powerful. It may not have been true Baritsu, but I'm certain you felt it anyway. Your spirit core should be damaged in several places now. Meh. Please leave, Sigurd. My spirit core, huh? What about it? What about it? I can't see where he... Ah! Senpai! My exoskeleton's drive is failing. I've only got a little magical energy left. No, not yet. I can't afford to fall yet. Senpai. Senpai. Run over to her. Stop, don't move. So what was that just now? Something only a hybrid could do? I was pretty surprised to hear you put all your magical energy into that attack. Never thought I'd see a hunter be so chatty before they were about to take down their quarry. No, that's not right. You're not hunters or heroes. You're probably not warriors either. Senpai! Come on, move, Ortnax, please! You poor, pathetic children. This is an act of mercy. Rejoice, I will behead you with the sword of your own beloved hero. Pitiful humans, neither you nor the world have any future to look forward to. No, stop! Senpai, please! Use another command spell on me, Senpai! Don't bother, you'll be dead long before you get the chance to summon your magical energy. Farewell. Refuse to look away. His sword swung through the air, slicing even the wind. There was no blood. There was no spray from the neck, no gruesome sounds of meat being cleaved from bone. Sarah's head remained attached to her shoulders. She was still alive. If the tip of Sigurd's demonic sword had come even a hair's breadth closer, Sarah's life would have ended. But that didn't happen. The red blade stopped dead in its tracks, right before reaching its mark. His sword stopped, mid-swing. Master! I guess this is what they call a hero's pride. You got lucky, child. Oh, okay, so it's not actually a D at all. I didn't realize that. Scothy it is! Scothy, she will be in my party if I have anything to say. Master, please don't move. I'm afraid his kick injured me pretty badly. So please, just stay still for now. Senpai. Mashu! No! He kicked me in the groin. It was really painful. This quest has no battles. Erg. Ergity erg erg erg. Got ourselves another fucking ice castle. Jesus. I'm back, Ophelia. That was fast. Did you retrieve the Paper Moon Void Reality Observation device that once belonged to the Atlas Institute as I instructed? Ophelia's a cutie. You better not have broken it, did you? Huh, don't ask me. I can't get used to these man-made toys for the life of me. You want your little golden treasure so badly, take a look for yourself. Good. This is definitely the real thing. Why don't you hang on to it for me? Don't let anyone else have it, no matter what. After all, you're the strongest being in all of Scandinavia, with the exception of Her Majesty. I'm sure. How long am I planning on streaming? You didn't have to say it 3 times in a row. I don't know. My goal is to usually go for like 4 hours, at least. I said Scothy. Scothy. I was doing it right. You're just being critical. So, now that I've fulfilled my duties as a servant, do I get some kind of reward? How about it, Master Ophelia? Farmer Salone? Fammersalone? What kind of words are they making up?
Well done, Saber, my most powerful knight. I have no other work for you for the time being. Feel free to rest up and relax for a while. How does that sound as a reward?
That works.
Oh, and may I say something?
Sure.
Would you mind not staring at me with those red eyes?
You're a funny one. You think you've got room to talk when it comes to unusual eyes, Ophelia?
I wonder if she's got like a mystic eye or something on the other side of that. We have the paper moon. Right now, that's all that matters. The all-terrain void transporter Shadow Border. It may be the only one of its kind in existence, able to do the impossible, but without the paper moon serving as its eyes, it's useless. I commend Chaldea for destroying the Russian Lost Belt, but without the Shadow Border they can go no further. This is where their journey ends. Now there is effectively no one left who will interfere with Lord Kirstaria. Now all that remains is... I'm glad to see you in such high spirits, Ophelia. Are these high spirits born of true romance, or merely puppy love? Even after thousands of years of attempting to do so, I cannot quite grasp the concept of love, though I know you humans speak of it often. Tell me, what does it taste like? Is it sweet? Perhaps spicy? Even fiery? Your Majesty. I never took you to for one to smile upon gaining a new toy. I see that even you have a soft side. Now what of this tree of emptiness, I believe you called it? How is it faring? It's coming along well. Even now it continues to grow larger in its garden, away from any who might observe or interfere. Since there is no opposing faction in the Scandinavian Lost Belt, there should be nothing to interfere with its growth. Scathy! Scathy! Thee. There you go. That's what you told me. You said the isn't the. Scathy. 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 Faction, I must confess, I am unfamiliar with that word. I suppose we do hear the occasional lone wolf howl, but that is of no consequence. If anything, it helps to pass the time. Still, I suppose if they were to form a pact, that could be somewhat troublesome, don't you agree, Ophelia? Yes, I do. The wild beasts do devour their prey, of course, but that is as far as it goes. Pointless conflict is a foreign concept to man and beast alike, as is resentment. So Skadi here is, why exactly is she using Skahak again as kind of like a... What is that, like... Is that like a pseudo? Sorry, it's pretty easy to tell it's her, given the JPEGs we've seen in the past. I do. Under your rule, this world of Scandinavia has become one of the greatest embodiments of peace. The way you say that, Ophelia, it sounds as though there were other worlds that have been achieved similar peace. How adorable. Surely you jest. This Lost Belt stability is of vital importance, Your Majesty. It is the key to growing our tree. All you need to do is continue ruling as you always have. You truly are a selfless young woman, aren't you, Ophelia? Fammersalone. That could be anyone's silhouette. Oh yeah. Long hair, very fluffy, stabby little things coming out the shoulders. I suppose I should commend you for your diligence, but it takes more than that to be a queen. Do you understand me, Ophelia? If not, I suggest you learn. With all due respect, Your Majesty, I am no queen. Why did you take it? My land is no place for avarice. If you would protect and obey me as your queen, you would do well to remember that. I believe you called it a compass? I see, so the hospitality of my ice castle is not enough for you. Surely you haven't forgotten. Every bit of snow and ice blanketing this world is a part of me. As I preside over all that is pure white, nothing can elude me. I know and see all that takes place within my land. I can hear it too, the breath of all living creatures, their cries, their fluttering. I can hear the howl of the wind, the symphony of leaves overlapping, and, of course, the words of humans. That goes for the crew of this shadow border as well. As I speak, they are erecting a bounded field to keep the giants away. How touching, how pitiful. I see they too are humans. They guard their lives closely, so that they may grow and survive. Saber, didn't I tell you that you were free to kill everyone there except Mashu? I can't tell you humans apart. Why, you... Huh. How delightful. You certainly are blunt, Dragon Slayer. Nonetheless, Ophelia, it seems you still fail to understand my methods. Why kill them? With all due respect, Your Majesty, because the Chaldeans who live on the Shadow Border are our enemies. Our enemies, If you want me to kill them all right now, I'll go take care of it. Don't. I don't want you to kill I don't want you killing Mashu Kyrielite. Interesting. I don't believe I've ever seen that look on your face, Ophelia. You never so much as batted an eye when it came to that archer, but just now, I could have sworn a look of genuine concern on your face. I could have sworn I saw a look of genuine concern on your face. Interesting. Sorry, I was a little distracted. I take it this Kyrielite person means something to you, then? Well, Ophelia, Farm Salone? Farmer Salone? God. Forgive me, Your Majesty, I cannot answer that question. You truly are adorable, Ophelia. Very well, I shall forgive you this once. As for you, Knight, do not kill them, I forbid it. My snow and ice is an expression of my love, not of death. I will not tolerate anyone staining its pure white with crimson. Is that clear? Love is a wonderful thing. If you ever come to know it yourselves, take care not to lose it. You must cradle it in your hands and hold it close. Hold it tight. If you are not careful, loveless flames may throw everything out of balance. That is how it has been since the gods first came to be. Is that clear, Ophelia, Sir Knight? Yes, Your Majesty. I will not forget it. Love, huh? No, I won't let what happened to Kadak happen to me. I will not fail. I will do everything I can to help Lord Kirstaria. I will feed upon the other Lost Belts and make certain I live up to his hopes for me. Feed. You always get that look on your face whenever you speak of the tree, Ophelia. Do you not like it here? Do you feel as though you don't belong? Or Linda, I don't think that. No, I don't think that. My mother was a Scandinavian, albeit in proper human history. This is my homeland of a sort. I would never hate it here, quite the opposite. I feel as though some part deep inside of me is more at peace than it's been in a long time. Even the air tastes better here. I love this place. The Queen does keep surprising me with how generous she can be, but I don't mind that either. You love it, you say? Yes, I do. I'm so glad when I found myself here after my coffin was opened. I really mean that. Which is why I'm proud it's my job as a krypter to tend to the tree. It's a crucial life form, a necessary one. Necessary for this Kirstaria man, you mean? For this lost belt. Didn't I already tell you three about it? Yes, you did. I've logged your current statements in my memory. I'll go ahead and link them to our shared memories now. I've received a question from Hildur. She wants to know why you always have that bitter look when you talk about the tree if you don't dislike it here. Bitter? Well, because it makes me keenly aware of how peerless I really am. Even if the tree does grow to maturity, the most I can hope to do is keep it that way. It's very unlikely this world will change unless I use my serious light. You want to change this land, Ophelia? Sometimes. You don't? We can analyze, but we can't make judgment calls. All we can do is follow the orders we're programmed with. Did you forget, Krypter? We aren't human. We only exist to carry out our master's orders. Yes, I remember. There, again. Huh? I'm sorry, you had the same look on your face as when you discussed the tree. So I responded the same way. Is that third? Third would, now that our statements have synced up. I see, then I'm afraid that, even between the three of you, your analysis must still be incomplete. You're right, it is, well, that's weird, because I've heard there's some characters called Brynhildr, and then there's, one that's like Brunhilda. It's fucking confusing. They do that both. I don't know which one she was referring to. The Valkyries are quite cute, indeed. Oh, this story is driving me crazy. Are all present and accounted for? Then let's get this briefing underway, Technical Advisor. You got it. Okay, let's start with a review of our current situation. First of all, it's been about 20 hours since yesterday's attack. Thanks to all your valiant efforts, we were able to avoid the worst-case scenario. But I'm afraid we're still not doing well, all told. When Sigurd, whom we believe to be a Lost Belt servant, broke into the Shadow Border's cockpit yesterday. He made off with our Void Reality observational device, the Paper Moon. That's right, of all the things for him to take. Hey, he didn't exactly steal it from us, did he? You gift-wrapped the damn thing for us. Why the hell would you do something like that? Even Sigurd found it weird. You think I was giving him a present, you fool? I'll have you know that was me planning ahead. He didn't look at all like the gentle sort, so I wrapped the Paper Moon carefully to ensure he wouldn't break or damage it. Wait, you did? Really? Alright, you can argue all you want later. Between the emergency exit, attempted emergency dive, and Sigurd's attack, the damage to the Shadow Border is extensive. Frankly, it's a miracle that none of us died. Although, I haven't seen Holmes since all of this. I'm worried too. I haven't spoken to him since that battle. Is he... It's not good. If he pushes himself even a little, he'll die. He has to stay completely still while he recuperates. He didn't just lose an arm, you know. He's also got inscribed with a primordial rune of death. A primordial rune? The lost Norse runes are the ones... are one of the foundations of magecraft. Mages have partially... damn it, I hate when that happens. Partially reproduced them, but they pale in comparison to the original ones from the Age of Gods. Still, that doesn't mean they're not handy. They can be chanted very quickly, which makes them very useful in a lot of situations. For example, we used a whole bunch of them for Sarah's mystic codes, like Gundo. At any rate, the primordial runes are powerful stuff. According to Norse myth, Odin made them, and made most of the world out of Ymir, with the exception of the runes. No, the runes were a different matter. Odin discovered them after offering up his own life. Their shapes contain the depths of the world itself. I guess you could call them the pathways of truth that Odin discovered. If you inscribe the rune for death, then there's no escaping it no matter what. If you're flesh and blood, that is. Flesh and blood? Then since Holmes is a heroic spirit, does that mean he can be cured?
Foo!
You got it! A gold star for you, Mashu! I have no idea what you're saying, foe. If you want to lavish me with praise for my genius in putting together a recovery pod for ether bodies on such short notice, you just go right ahead. You deserve some thanks too, Sarah. I'm sorry you had to try to heal him with your own mystic codes so many times. But it was thanks to you that Holmes didn't disappear before I could finish the recovery pod. Hey, that's what they're there for! Well, thanks again. I'm sure he'll want to thank you too once he's back on his feet. That said, for the time being, Holmes will essentially be comatose. I know you're anxious, Gordy, but... That's Mr. Gordoff to you, technical advisor. Need I remind you that we are still in a briefing? And on that note, let's get down to brass tacks. Mashu Kyrielite, Sarah, I have decided on a new mission for you. I trust you already know what that is, but I'll explain it anyway. We have lost both the Paper Moon and one of our heroic spirits. Well, temporarily in the latter case, at least. The situation may be dire, but it's not going to improve by sitting around twiddling our thumbs, which means... The goal of this mission is to turn things around and keep moving forward. Oh, sorry, I stole your thunder, didn't I? What? I can giggle if I want. Alright, moving on. This mission has 3 main objectives: recovering the Paper Moon, cutting down the Tree of Emptiness, and finding a path to the North Sea. I understand why we need to get the Paper Moon back, since we can't continue our journey without it. But why is cutting down the Tree of Emptiness part of this mission, too? An excellent question. As you'll recall, Sigurd didn't come here to kill us. He came here to steal the Paper Moon. Why would he do that if he belonged to this Lost Belt? Simply put, he wouldn't. Never in a million years. The only ones who would consider the Paper Moon a threat are the krypters, especially now that they've lost Russia. In which case, it makes sense to assume that he is one of the krypters' servants. Oh, so this Lost Belt's krypter already knows we're here, which means... Right, there's no avoiding a fight. And if we're going to have to do that, we might as well take down the Tree of Emptiness while we're at it, yeah? Correct. Once the krypters realize the Tree of Emptiness is in danger, we can be certain they will have some sort of response. And when they do, that will be the perfect chance for us to take the Paper Moon back. Maybe I'm being a little overly optimistic here, but I'd say this plan is absolutely foolproof.
Foo!
Anyway, there's a ton of work to do before we get to that. First order of business, we need to conduct a thorough investigation of this Lost Belt. And since we have to stay here and repair the border, I'm afraid that will fall to the 2 of you again. You okay with that? We're on it. Still, I'm a little worried about leaving the border with Holmes in such critical condition. What about the giants? Not to worry. I've already got just the thing in mind for handling them. Oh, thank goodness. I'm glad you're as skilled as you are cute. Flatterer, don't stop now. It's about time somebody recognized just how useful I am. Anyway, let's start by going over a few things. We need to make sure we're all on the same page for this lost belt after all. Da Vinci is indeed quite cute. First things first, the Norse mythology we know from proper human history. Scandinavia used to be the home to all sorts of gods, giants, and other mystics, just like the Age of Gods in other areas. But then, in 1000 BC, about 3,000 years ago, Mount Katla erupted, and Ragnarok began. It brought an end to that entire reality, essentially Scandinavia's own Age of Gods. The gods, the giants, even the phantasmals in the region, along with all of their myth and legends, were completely wiped out. At least that's the conventional wisdom in the mage community. Ragnarok, the twilight of the gods, that was the conflict that brought an end to the gods in Norse mythology, right? That's right. Loki's mischief eventually begat all sorts of disasters, culminating with Muspel fire giants invading from the Muspelheim, the land of flame. In fact, what most believe to have been an enormous eruption from Mount Kala was actually the fire giants' invasion. It's said that during Ragnarok, Odin was eaten by Fenrir, the great wolf of ruin, and that many gods died in a fearsome clash with giants. Before... fuck how I say that name. Surtur, the giant fiery god of giants and ruler of Muspelheim, laid waste to all the land with his flaming sword. Yep, and once the gods and giants vanished from Scandinavia, that was when the Age of Humanity began. That was when most of the mystic was lost and civilization rapidly advanced.
Foo-foo! Foo-foo! Foo-foo!
Basically, yep. The idea that the reality texture covering the world disappearing along with the Scandinavia's Age of Gods was more of a presumption, courtesy of mages from proper human history. That does differ a bit from regular historical records, though. The oldest known record we have of Mount Kala erupting goes back to 930 AD. There just aren't many records of what happened all the way back in 1000 BC. That tracks if the entire texture was wiped out. Again, conventional wisdom says that we only have bits and pieces left over now because of this entire texture disappearing. You really do love your conventional wisdom, don't you, Director? What's wrong with that? Many notable authorities support that theory. I'm told it's all but common knowledge in the Clock Tower's archaeology department. And the Meloastia faction, to be precise.
Foo-foo-foo!
When you get right down to it, there's still a lot we don't know. In proper human history, we never did get the full picture of the Scandinavian Age of Gods, so all we have are a lot of vague guesses patched together from whatever small remnants we could find. But hey, that's pretty much the case everywhere. However, that is obviously not the case for this version of Scandinavia. Not by a damn sight. I'm guessing that here in this Scandinavian Lost Belt, the Age of Gods never ended. We have run into giants. Yes, as we've seen for ourselves, giants are very much alive and well in this Lost Belt. One of the big questions we need to answer is, when did this Lost Belt diverge from proper human history? The other is, given the giants we've run into, we can be certain that this is still before the AD era. Really? Oh, that it is still. Yeah, that it happened before the AD. And that the Age of Gods level mystics still exist, but we don't yet know why that is. So those are the two big questions. When and why? We should feel a lot better once we have the answers. So we want to know the time period this Lost Belt diverged from proper human history, and why it diverged in the first place. Right you are, Mashu. At this point, I think it could be diverged around 3,000 years ago, around the time of Ragnarok in proper human history's Scandinavian Age of Gods. But as to why that happened, your guess is as good as mine. Why does this Lost Belt look like this? What are those flames you saw in the northern mountains? And based on what we've been able to observe from the border, Why does it look like there aren't any towns or cities, like there were in proper human history? Are there even any other humans here? If so, did they change into something else, like the Yaga? We really do have a lot of unanswered questions. That's right. We still know practically nothing. The best we have right now is our estimation of the Age of Gods never ended here. If only a divine being would have the courtesy to show up and tell us what's going on. Stupid Lost Belt. I don't know, I can't think of many gods that go in for the whole exposition thing. Hey, at least you've got the adorable and knowledgeable Da Vinci on your side. Let's see, speaking of the situation here. Right, I've still got to tell you about the Scandinavian Tree of Emptiness. But we weren't able to see it. I imagine not, particularly since the border couldn't see it with its sensors either. So we should assume that this Lost Belt's Tree of Emptiness is being concealed somehow. Which is why your mission objectives include finding it. Good luck, we're counting on you. And once we find it, we have to cut her down. Alright, I'm going to jot down everything you're saying. Okay, so what exactly does the sound make with the O in Ragnarok, as well as, you know, Götterdämmerung, or whatever how you say it? Like, just like you're doing, you know, a similar sound in English that I could associate it with, if that's possible. But of course, if you see an opportunity to chop it down, go right ahead. No need to wait for my orders in that case. Let's see. Oh, right. And one more thing. I really hate to say this, but it's not possible to summon servants outside of battle here. I'm doing a bit of both at the same time, sorry. Okay, short O, start saying E and cursor's. How can you tell by the spelling whether it's long or short?
Because the border doesn't have enough power?
The border is running Damn it. The border is running way low on power thanks to the damage. But the biggest issue is the fact that we couldn't detect any ley lines. I bet it's because of all the magical energy intertwined with the ice and snow at a molecular level. I'm afraid it's going to interfere with our long-range comms. Alternatively, the ice and snow's magical energy could be completely controlling both this Lost Belt's mana and history. So that would mean if someone were manipulating the ice and snow via magecraft, then it'd mean they're incredibly powerful. If we want to keep hypothesizing, I guess that if someone like that exists, they're also this Lost Belt's king. Of course, it's possible this is just what this Lost Belt is like, but let's at least keep that possibility in mind. If I may. In short, our situation is highly precarious. We have no choice but to send a mere two-person team to explore further, despite the fact that we currently have no means of defending ourselves. I hope you can appreciate how difficult of a decision this was to reach. All clear here. You probably don't need to do that. I was just wondering if there was a clear rule. Ah, good! Very well then. As the expedition team, you will leave first thing tomorrow morning at 0900. While we're on the subject, let's talk about your current destination, too. Though we don't know where Sigurd went after stealing the Paper Moon, we did detect a group of life forms approximately 130 kilometers northwest from the border's current location. I'm hoping it's a village, even though there wasn't one there on the 2019 map. Anyway, I think that'd be a good place to start asking around. I'll make sure to prepare some translation talismans before you leave, of course. I want one of those. I wish I could do more to help you two, under normal circumstances. I'd be right there with you in the border. But this is the best we can do right now, I'm sorry. The Shadow Border still needs a lot of repair work to get it mobile again, and of course, zero sailing is currently out of the question. Still, at least you won't have to worry about the Ortonax. I spent the last 20 hours going over the whole thing with a fine-tooth comb. You shouldn't have to worry about it acting up after getting hit with a demonic sword anymore. Thank you, Da Vinci. The next time I see him... Yep, you can give him the what for. Don't hold back on Siegfried's account. Yes, you're right, though I don't think we need to bring Siegfried into this. It sucks that we can't count on our comms. I wish we at least had one more fighter we could send with you. Yeah, having another heroic spirit around right now would be really welcome, especially one who could watch over the border for me. Oh, no you don't! Don't you even think about wasting our last bit of power on a summoning test. If you've got time to whine about things we haven't got, then get out there and go find them. That's the smart way to go about this. Yeah, you've got a point. Alright, Mashu, Sarah. We're going to have to count on the two of you to find some help, and maybe even bolster our fighting forces into the bargain. Maybe there are other heroic spirits from proper human history here, like there were in Russia. Exactly, with any luck. There'll be heroic spirits the land itself summoned here, like Beowulf and Billy. Alright, let's go over everything one last time. For this mission, you two have 3 primary objectives. First, take back the Paper Moon. Second, cut down the Tree of Emptiness. And third, find a path to the North Sea. Of course, those last 2 are more for extra credit, but the first one is absolutely crucial. So let's get started with that information gathering and hopefully recruiting some fighters. Yeah. How many times do you have to say that? Right, Senpai.
Foo! Foo!
Very well, then. We begin tomorrow morning at 0900. You already said that! Now, if there are no further questions, this briefing is concluded. Lord, the talking is so much! You could trim like half of this easily. And here we go, and none. No battles. Fuck. Fuckity fuck. It's just too much. It doesn't look like there'll be any blizzards. Looks like today's forecast for the southern Sweden region of this Lost Belt is clear skies. I'm all set, Senpai. I'm glad it's still sunny out.
Me too. I think this is a good sign. Maybe I shouldn't say that, given the situation. But I still want to stay positive. True, getting depressed isn't going to do anything to help us out of this. You've got the right idea, Mashu. Here, have a Da Vinci head pat on the house. There you go. Thank you, Da Vinci.
Technical advisor, how long are you planning to spend saying your goodbyes? Get back in here already. Need I remind you, you're the only operational heroic spirit we've got right now, and every second you spend away is another second the rest of us are defenseless.
Oh, what's the matter, Director? Missed them already? Something you want to say to them before they go?
No, I mean, yes. With the paper moon stolen, our position is extremely precarious. Added to that, the fact that we have no mobility on land. And we're as good as dead if an enemy happens to find us. Therefore, it is imperative you two complete your mission and return as quickly as possible. Whatever you do, make sure you don't just rush in and get yourselves hurt, or worse. We absolutely cannot afford to lose any more of our human or servant resources. Really, we can't afford to lose anything else. Given the state of things, anyway, your first order of business is getting the paper moon back. The second is returning here safely. Now get on with
it! For all his bluster, our new director really does wear his heart on his sleeve. I'm pretty sure that was his way of showing he's worried about you two. I mean, it's pretty obvious at this point, right? Yes, it is.
Starting to get a better sense of him.
Oh, you should have heard him. Have the demi-servant girls injuries healed yet? Will those two be okay if they run into the demonic sword wielder again? Not that he's gonna lift a finger himself, given how he's been even more timid than ever since Holmes got taken out. I must admit, I am a little worried about the border, with you being the only one who can defend it now. Hey, I know I'm not much of a fighter, but don't you worry. I'm pretty sure Sigurd isn't gonna bother the border anymore. Plus, I've already gone and put up an extra sturdy bounded field around it anyway. And it's not just sturdy, I made sure none of the indigenous life would even be able to tell it's there, especially the giants. I don't think I've worked this hard on a bounded field since I was putting the finishing touches on the Mona Lisa. I had no idea Da Vinci used to put up bounded fields around her paintings back when she was alive. Alright then, we'll be waiting here. We'll be waiting for for you to come back with good news. You two be extra careful out there. We still don't know much about this place after all. Not to mention that, well, the fact that we won't be able to communicate is going to be a serious issue. I wish I could have done something about that, but we're past that now. The ice and snow here are infused with magical energy, which will get in the way no matter what, so we won't be able to talk to each other once you're more than a few kilometers out. But that doesn't mean I'm giving up. I still got a few ideas I'll try when I get the chance. Just make sure you don't push yourself too hard, okay? With the border immobilized, we effectively won't be able to share what we each learn until we make it back to this. I'm not even gonna... Fuck. You know, you gave me that advice, but it still doesn't really click to me. I don't quite understand it. You're saying I's and O's and O's and I's, but... like, if you were to just flat out say it. Because word is a weird one, because word basically has no O sound. It's just W-R-D, really. Word. This will be the first time you were entirely on your own. Make sure you're especially careful. Don't go out of your way to save any cute girls asking for help unless they're at least as cute as me, okay? We won't, and please, you take care of yourself too, Da Vinci. You guys are too damn nice for being so young. Then again, I guess I'm younger than you now, aren't I? Okay, I'll be careful too. Oh, and one more. Foe?
Foe! Fuck you!
Whoa! When did you sneak out here? Aha, you were hiding out in my shield again, weren't you?
Foe!
Okay, it looks like Foe's coming along with us too. I feel safer already. Yes, going from 2 to 3 means 50% more resources. Thanks for coming along, Foe.
Foe!
So even Foe's trying to help make up for our lack of personnel now. Well, he has great instincts at least. Isn't that right, you little furball you? Yes, Foe is more than capable in his own right. Having him along will be a huge help. I think we'll be able to effectively fight as a group of 3 now.
Foe!
Yes, I mean that.
Foe!
Jesus, all these Foe sounds. You want to sit on my shoulder, not Senpai's? Looks like he really likes you, Mashu. Okay, this 2-person team is now officially a 3-person team. And on that note, it's finally time to show off my latest invention. This little beauty is something I came up with while I was trying to figure out a way to stay in touch. Sadly, they won't help us communicate, but they will help you get around this lost belt a lot easier. I give you... the Ortnax Alera's board attachments. What the? Are these some kind of additional equipment for my exoskeleton? When did you even have time to make these? Those are skis.
Foe!
Never underestimate a genius. That's right. These are basically super awesome skis. Thanks to their magical energy thrusters, you'll be zipping around like nobody's business. Not even Oleris, the guardian patron saint of Skyers. Skyers? Skiers? Fuck. Has got anything on these babies. So many words. So many cultures. I don't know how to pronounce any of them. Don't worry, they come with wards and gyro sensors designed to help you keep your balance. I've got a set for you too, Sarah. With these, you 3 should be able to make your way around the Scandinavian snow plains in the blink of an eye. This is awesome! You're the best, Da Vinci. That's right, you should damn well be impressed. Oh, be aware that if you want to go really fast, you should fold yours up and just hang on tight to Mashu. Thank you, Da Vinci. I appreciate this a lot. But this isn't taking care of yourself. Hey, if you're going to stay up all night working, best do it when you're young. Besides, I asked way too much of you two the other day before yesterday. It's the least I can do to make up for that. I'm sure Holmes would say the same. But then again, given what our great detective is like, maybe not. Get on with it! I know it's my fault you two keep having to shoulder so much responsibility. So at the risk of sounding like a broken record, be careful out there. I filled the storage space in Mashu's shield with camping gear, water, and a few days' worth of food, so make sure you rest up when you need to. Remember, it's going to be just the 2 of you, and Foe, so you need to be extra careful. Right. See you later, Da Vinci. Finally, a fucking battle! Christ. I don't like how class affinity has been like a shortened button now, even though they have like a blank space just to the right, like right here where I'm tapping. Like, why couldn't they have just made those buttons a little bigger for my sausage thumb? Oh, Merlin? Merlin, where are you? Where are you, Merlin? There's no
Merlin. There's no Merlin. Ah! Give me Merlin or give me death. There we go. Yeah, I'm gonna use my mustache. Snow, ice, and fire. So this is the Scandinavian Lost Belt. Looking at it again, it's all very... Yes, that's true, it's definitely a beautiful landscape. Ice and snow need extreme cold, but fire is one of the hottest things in the world, yet somehow here they are, coexisting. I've never seen anything like it before. But at the same time, it's kind of bizarre. There doesn't seem to be anything here that can burn, but there's fire floating above the mountains. The scenery may be beautiful, but it's also incomprehensibly mystic. The Olaris boards are great at getting around, since they can even go up inclines. But when you move at high speeds, you really won't be able to take stock of your surroundings as much. Now that we're taking a break to look around, there are several things I've noticed. For example, the amount of fallen snow. I read that Scandinavia actually isn't all that snowy except for Norway. But here, in this Lost Belt, the mountains are frozen over. Even these trees are. No, wait, not trees, just ice-shaped like conifers? Does this mean there really aren't any plants here? It certainly seems that way, at least, at this point. Maybe this means there is a different force at work here, something very different from what caused Russia's Ice Age. I remember hearing these Lost Belts are alternate hypothetical versions of history. What must this world's history have been like for it to have this sort of scenery? Look, Senpai, birds! That must mean this Lost Belt has other normal animals and not just giants and demonic beasts. Seems that way. Foe, is there something about those birds that bothers you?
They are demon birds, Jochen. They are berserker birds.
Anyway, we should get back to our journey. Foe, you stay inside my shield while we use the Olaris boards, okay? We don't want the wind blowing you away while you're on the move. While we're on the move, after all. But first, here's a map of where we would be in proper human history. There's definitely some margin of error since there aren't any GPS satellites to sync up with, but it should still help. Here we go. We're currently on the Scandinavian peninsula, right on top of what used to be literally every word. I'm just gonna have to take like a whole fucking course on this shit. Lake Vattern in southern Sweden. Hang on, we're on a lake? Hey, Songsmith, could you, specify what you mean by the Lord of the Rings and Hobbit and stuff? Lake Vattern is an enormous lake believed to have taken shape after Earth's most recent ice age. It's said to be almost 2,000 square kilometers. But in this Lost Belt, we're obviously standing on a mountain ridge covered in snow. It's not just the ice, snow, and fire. This Lost Belt differs from proper human history in a lot of significant ways. I thought I'd learned that in Russia, but after seeing all this, I feel like I'm learning it all over again. Fuck you! Foe? Go! What is it, Foe? Did I do something to... I'm so sorry, I should have noticed sooner. There are large magical energy signals nearby. They look to be giants.
But why now? We didn't run into a single one on the way here. Maybe they only approach you if you stay in one place for a long time? No, never mind. We'll worry about that later. Right now we need to take care of the immediate threat.
Let's go head them off.
Understood. Ready to begin battle once the giants are in range.
Dun 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 dun.
唐突にひらめいた。
では
Fuck y'all.
おーとも。なんの。
Eat shit and die.
So basically those birds are probably not our friends.
待って
I'm
ました。
assuming Odin is not our buddy here. Well, thank you, J-senpai.
そうだ
Crazy fucking doggos, they are here to eat your brains.
いいとも
Hey, Ari-chan. Ari-chan?
こっちのが遠
It's 528. Are you still going to your mother's? When? I'm gonna miss you.
よーし、そこ狙うからね。
お任せ夢のような形君の道行きを信じようさあ行きなさい
五輪の真髄お見せしましょ
オーセロット
う。待ってました。いよう栗から昇天書剣豪バットイカナ大天
計略だ最上に近い勝利戦う前に勝つくらいでなければ
Yep.
Welcome to Scandinavia. We got giants. Giants in Scandinavia. 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 Come to Scandinavia, we've got giants.
The battle is over. There are no other magical energy signals within 30 meters of our position. I have to apologize again, Senpai. Even after all of Da Vinci's reminders to be careful, I still let my guard down. I know I need to be more extra vigilant in watching for magical energy signals and servants, especially since we can't contact the border. And yet I completely failed at that task. Let's take this as a reminder of why we need to be more careful. Right, I promise I won't make the same mistake again. Well, Foe is pretty fucking distracting. Thank you, Foe, but it's not your fault. You have nothing to apologize for. If anything, I should be thanking you for alerting us to the danger, so thank you.
Fo-fo.
Given that we're unable to contact the Shadow Border, we're effectively cut off from Chaldea itself. I need to keep that in mind. You just said that, in accordance with the Chaldea Personnel Code, Article 23, Paragraph 2. It's imperative that I remain calm and proceed with caution. In other words, I'm free to make decisions, act independently, and return to base at my own discretion. And then make an official report, of course. Seems kinda sparse on the details. Yes, it is yes it is. Dr. Roman added paragraph 2 when no one was looking. That's just like him. Yes, it is, isn't it? But he dead! He dead, kind of, basically. I've confirmed that the Ortnax Solaris board attachments have been safely shut down and stowed. Initiating standard Ortnax movement mode. Since there are a lot of trees in this area, I think it would be better to put the Olaris boards away and move around on foot for a while. So many ice trees. They're not really just frozen trees then, are they? Trees actually made out of ice. I can't tell if they were carved from ice or if all these tree-like formations were stuck in the ground. Either way, I can't imagine there would be much wildlife in a place like this.
Woo!
That said, I don't know if this is a good thing or not, but... based on the magical energy signals I'm sensing, it looks like there are more giants past the ice trees. There are more of them gathered together than there are anywhere else we've seen so far. Maybe the path we took to avoid the fiery mountains ended up bringing us to their territory. Or maybe they're just meeting up for their regular orgy. Let's try to make sure they don't see us. Well, that's a pretty big spoiler. I could spoil it. I mean, we're obviously way past that part in the story now, but... Good point. I'll keep that in mind, Master.
Foe.
Yes, Foe, that means we'll be walking from here on.
Ooh.
Don't fall in the snow, little one.
Or if you don't want to play the game, you can always watch my live streams. I can't believe he's already gone that far ahead. Please don't run off too far on your own, Foe. We don't want a giant spotting you. Oh, but then again, maybe it would be okay. You're so cute that even a giant might want to keep you as a pet instead of eating you. Senpai, can I talk to you about something? Is this about Sigurd? Yes, it is. Something has been bothering me about him. Sigurd is one of the greatest heroes in all of Scandinavia. He reforged King Sigmund, his father's demonic sword Gram. After the divine spear, Gungnir shattered it. Then we went on to defeat the dragon Fafnir to gain its wisdom. That all fits what the Holmes told us. Later, he and Brynhild... Oh, right, gotcha. Later, he and Brynhild the Valkyrie fell in love, but their relationship was poisoned by hate and ended with his death. He has many of the same roots as Siegfried, so much so that he believes they were actually the same hero. Or that some believe. Yeah. And yet, I don't know why, but I didn't get that sense at all from the masked hero spirit. True, he and Siegfried couldn't be more different. Yes, basically, yeah. So Dr. Roman was a reincarnation of King Solomon. That was his wish after winning the Grail with Marsbury Enemisphere. And then, obviously, the demon god Hivemind was pretending to be Gerta. And, the demon Hivemind Gerta was pretending to be Solomon, doing the whole incineration thing. So at the Temple of Time, we finally confront that, and, kind of Roman reawakens as Solomon and confronts his demon buddies, and he's like, you know, that ain't cool, we can't do that shit. So he sacrifices himself in that final battle.
To be fair, though, if you're watching my lore videos, I pretty much spoil the whole Solomon Gettia thing, like, right from the get-go. Senpai, I think I hear some... What sounded like a child! Is that what a child sounds like to you? Right, it came from the north-northwest. Let's go. Ooh, ain't she a cutie? She's a little cutie. Lots of fur. Oh no, they saw me, now what do I do? It was going so well, too. Game over, man! I don't understand. Why do things never turn out well for me? I'm such an idiot. No, please, no. Oh! We made it, Master. Please focus on keeping her safe. As for me... Time to kick ass and shoot up. I'm all out of gum. I'll handle these giants. You get back too, please, foe. Hello. What the? Who are you? No, you can't. Any child the Berkersar find is doomed. So you have to run away if you see a child being attacked by one of them. I don't understand. Why are you doing this? Go on, get out of here. That is not an option for a cutie girl like you, huh? Ah, you idiot! Now they're going to squish all of us! No, they won't. We won't let them. Ortnax is holding steady at maximum output. I can do this, Master.
Let's save this girl, Mashu.
Right. Finally another battle.
慌てない呪文噛むからね
Yeah, I'm gonna wrap up this stream at the 4 o'clock mark or so. Well, not 4 o'clock, sorry. I meant 4-hour mark. So we got like 20 minutes or so. And I'll continue to do daily live streams for the most part until this shit's done. But I don't want to burn myself out. So I'm gonna break it up. I hope you all don't mind that. What, you hate The Last of Us 2, or what? Like I said, I don't really have anything against the game itself. But I'm not exactly thrilled about, you know, the double standard of Sony. She legal? Are you putting 2 L's there? I don't know. I'm just saying she's cute. It doesn't mean I want to bang her.
いいとも
任せて
何だだ
Characters do have AoE attacks. Well, they're noble phantasms anyway. Yeah, I could see you wanting to do AoE for, like, regular ones.
任せて待ってました
I do have a Jolter, actually.
なんの
I've got my Jolter in the Shinjuku outfit.
Hmm? 待ってましたそうなんの
Did I meet Sutor yet? I heard people talking about it. I think I forgot.
では
お供なんの引き返せるか
How as Xenoblade? I love me Xenoblade. Monolith Soft makes my favorite games, period.
この辺りいじった方がいいんじゃないか
I mean, when you sit here and you read every word of these Lost Belts, my god, is it long.
なーに何事もやればできるさ
浪林の真髄お見せしましょう任せて目力に憤怒を持って掌握この我が勝負医者の大転生
Hello! Have I seen the anime adaptation of Grand Blue Fantasy? Yes, I have.
今回も生き残ったわね
It's pretty
う
good.
どん食べに行くか
I think it's a solid adaptation, probably. Dude, what? New Pokemon Snap? The fuck? I did not know that was a thing. I did not know that was a thing. Did they just announce that shit? I mean, that would have been really good news for me, like, 20 years ago. Musashi was one of the servants I saved up like farking crazy for. We defeated the giants and ice creatures, but that was the first time we've come across a mountain giant. A Bergrisi. In Norse mythology, the Bergrisar were a race of mountain giants that were on friendly terms with I'm just gonna say Jotnar, the frost giants. But I don't remember reading anything about them banding together and attacking humans like that. How's the Ortnax doing? Everything okay? Do I play Azure Lane? I do not. You know, I'm surprised I never saw that, because I do check certain gaming sites, and you'd think Twitter, someone on Twitter would, like, go apeshit over a Pokemon Snap. I managed to fend off the attackers without sustaining any injury, all thanks to your support, Senpai. The load on the Ortnax is well within its tolerance. Da Vinci did an amazing job tuning it. Oh, that's right. Senpai, is that girl? Burgersar, Burgersar, Burgersar. Oh, Heavenly Mother, oh merciful goddess, please, I beg of you. Even if the giants do smush me flat, please let me stay with everyone else after I die. Excuse me? Is she speaking Swedish? The talisman doesn't have any problem translating conversation, but it's still a little hard to make out what she's saying. It might just be me, but it kind of sounds like she has a strong accent, too. All the giants be gone now. Did I happen to catch your epiphany? I don't think so? You know nothing about what I'm doing right now? You mean in the game? How far into the game are you? How much do you know? That's right, we're not going to hurt you. I promise you're safe for the moment. I'm alive? There's no more Burgersar around? That's right, you have nothing to worry about. There are no more giants around here. That's amazing! I can't believe it! The goddess must have sent you. Thank you, thank you, thank you! You two saved my life. That's so amazing.
How did you do it? Usually anyone the giant sees ends up getting pancaked. But none of us are even a little bit squished. Oh, I'm sorry. You're supposed to introduce yourself when you first meet someone, aren't you? I remember learning that. My name's Gerta. Hello, Gerta. That's a lovely name you have. It has a wonderful Nordic ring to it. Thanks. I like the way it sounds, too. It's very nice to meet you both, Miss Black Armor, Miss Red Hair. What are your names?
I'm Sarah.
Oh, it didn't... It says message retracted. I don't know if it'll let you put links. I'll look it up. Like, just knowing that Pokemon Snap is a thing, like, yeah, I'll do that. And I'm Mash Curiolite. Sarah and Masha Curiolite, huh? Got it. You two are incredible. I can't believe you really saved me. What village are you from? You don't seem like you're shivering. How can you not be cold with so few layers? I'm nice and warm thanks to my fur coat. I knew I'd have to be ready for anything once I decided to go out on my own. The grown-ups won't help because they're busy getting everything ready for tomorrow, so I have to do it all myself. That includes the cooking and tending to the children who have come down with terrible fevers. Oh, right, a reward. When someone does something nice for you, you have to repay them. Oh, I don't have anything on me right now. I'd have to go back to the village. But I also have to find the medical herbs before I go back. What should I do? Senpai, this is the first Scandinavian we've met. This must mean that there are human villages here. And they don't seem to have mutated to adapt to this environment like the Yaga had. Maybe that means their culture is closer to proper human history. Although for some reason, her outfit doesn't seem like anything someone would wear in 2020. Regardless, I think she'll be willing to take us to her village. Once we get there, we can ask around. When the Tree of Emptiness is gone, she'll... Ah. Yes. Once it's gone, all life in this lost belt will most likely, well... die. But if we're going to restore proper human history... I couldn't just let a little girl die. Yes, I feel the same way. I think I would have fought off those giants even if you hadn't said anything, Senpai. No, there's no way you would have just stood by, Senpai. That's just not who you are. Okay, this might be our last one. It depends on how long it is. Probably going to be longer than 10 minutes. Aw, you're adorable. Come here, it's okay. Oh, that looks like fun. Let me try. Yeet. Oh no, I thought she was throwing foe. You're too pretty to be a mouse. Maybe you're a dog or a cat? Oh, I know, you must be a horse. What?
Horse? Fuck you!
I've never had any animals besides sheep this close before. You're so beautiful. Oh, but I did see something else beautiful just a little while ago. It was a rainbow. A huge 7-colored rainbow that stretched all the way past the mountains. Nobody else saw it, but I did. Isn't that amazing?
Fo-fo.
Yeah, I wish you could have seen it too. I wonder why Foe is in such a good mood. Could it be the weather? Maybe he likes it cold like this. There, look, Senpai. We've only just met Gerta, and Foe is already taken to her. Oh wait, maybe it's the other way around. And Gerta's actually the one who's taken to him.
She's a cheerful girl, isn't she?
Yes, she's very cheerful. And it sounds like she came all this way to find... Well, my nickname for Lancer Artoria is just Titty Toria, so that's just gonna be the case. To find special medicine for a friend back in her village. She must be very responsible, too. There's something I'm wondering about, though. She said she was looking for medicinal herbs, right? Does that mean plants can grow around here? Not to mention that, if this is an emergency, why is she out here all by herself? I don't know about other regions in this Lost Belt, but it's no secret dangerous giants roam around here. And of course, there's no way an ordinary human could fight a giant alone. They'd be dead for sure. If someone needed to come out here, shouldn't it be an armed group of adults who know how to fight?
There must be more to this world that we don't know yet.
Are you guys talking about me? That's right, I left my village to look for medicinal herbs. The grown-ups are too busy getting ready for tomorrow, so we kids have to take care of ourselves. And since I'm the big sister, I have to do my best to pull my weight. That's pretty mature of me, right? Is that a compliment? Thank you, Foe. You're such a good boy. Your fur is so pretty, too. It's so soft and smooth. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'm afraid it's dangerous here. This area seems to be frequented by giants. Yeah, I guess you're right. We only see them occasionally near the village, but I know there's lots of giants around these mountains. Still, there's nothing else I can do. The only one who knows how to use runes is the envoy, and she isn't coming until tomorrow. Her runes of healing can cure people who are sick in no time. But Laura probably won't survive through the night without these herbs. Runes of healing? Envoy? That's why I came all this way. Someone told me that there were an amazing healing herbs near here. They said they can cure anything, and that they're especially good for fevers.
It's disrespectful.
Okay. So, well, I know it's reckless of me to be out here. We're not really ever supposed to leave the village. Really? Well, yes, nobody's ever supposed to leave. Isn't it like that in your village, too? The only ones permitted to go outside the village are envoys chosen to be servants of the gods. God. I'm sorry, but can you explain what you mean by the gods and envoys? Nice try, but you won't trick me that easily. Lady Mashu, girl in black armor. People have always told me that only envoys of the goddess have swords or spears. But I didn't know you used shields, too. That's amazing, Lady Mashu. Wait, me? An envoy?
Not sure about an envoy, but you're definitely an angel.
Come on, Master, this is no time to be joking around.
Anyway, maybe you can take us to your village if we find those herbs.
Hooray! I was hoping you might offer to help me. Oh, does that mean you can read my mind? Even if you don't have any weapons of your own, Miss Red Hair. You must be an envoy of the gods, too. Well, that is totally your decision. And what the hell? Interesting. Well, I'm actually going to wrap it up for today. Approximately 4 hours is a long time. And I will be doing this pretty much every day, same time. I'll just keep scheduling new streams. I thought we were going to see frickin' Napoleon. So much for that. I'll have to rename the archive. But yes, thank you all for tuning in. I've got to go work on more videos. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to subscribe to OtakuDaiKun for more anime lists, reviews, discussions, lore videos, let's plays, and the Holy Waifu Wars. Until next time, celebrate your fandom.